Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time of the day it may be for you. You're tuned in to Mother Base Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Todd, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Alex Capello and Benny Garza. Before we get into today's show, we'll send a shout-out to Sister Lat for their awesome song, Ecstasy, which you're listening to right now. And it's one of the many great songs found at 99lives.com, a great site, a great service with some great music, which you can use in your YouTube videos and on your Twitch streams without a worry in the world. You just need to credit the artist. And we think that's pretty simple. So remember, check out 99lives.com for some great songs like this one. Enjoy. Enough of other people's misery.
Yes, people's misery is the best type of funny.
I mean,
hilarity.
It's almost as funny as my own misery.
Delicious.
I spend too much time on Imager.
Delectable.
Delicious misery.
So, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
You know what? No one's going to be able to hear your beard up against that pop.
No, I mean I didn't
I thought that's
it.
what you did. I
think it might be audible if I beard scratch it.
Maybe.
You might have to do directly into the microphone.
Just maybe. Yeah, because you would have because the pop filter is in the way, so you would have to do it with a microphone. You have to fuck the microphone with your mouth. I still have that.
That's not how that works, Todd.
I still have that file
you fuck
saved
it with your voice.
I think what I want to do is open up every podcast with that and then music.
What was that? You fuck it with your mouth?
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, hold up. That was Code Lyoko.
No, I was going for Undertale, but you know what? Sure. Let's go
That was totally Code Lyoko that you went there. You just one step further and maybe you would have gotten to Undertale, but
Undertale, a game I haven't played yet.
Man, you really need to do that.
I have it.
You should.
I just haven't played it.
Before, we make that Saguaro.
Or before I play anything else that comes out in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Because my plate's going to be full soon.
Before that saguaro cactus comes and gets you, Todd, you may need to play
I'm less concerned about the cactus being not an inanimate object anymore and more about it having fucking thorns. Spinas, whatever.
Well, naturally it'll have thorns.
Yes,
it's
but
saguaro.
Fuck, man, that hurts.
Look, maybe we'll bioengineer it for it to have feelings, and maybe you can start a conversation with it.
Is this Mass
Effect
now, or what?
You wouldn't know what to talk about with it because you haven't played Undertale.
Oh, that's why you bring that up, because it's a character in Undertale.
No, it's not.
The fuck?
I mean, Cactuar is technically a character.
This saguaro is gonna make you just the most uncomfortable person. Because it's just gonna mumble inappropriate things at you while it tries to touch you with its thorny hands. It's gonna be like, fuck me.
Whoa! Whoa, Capello!
Look, man, I mean, indie games need more maturity like that.
That's,
sure.
Shit.
That's shit?
God damn. I don't think I want to make a saguaro with you.
I mean, I don't think I even want to be in the same room with you guys anymore. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But
so shit happened this week.
A lot of shit happened this week.
Oh boy,
many
shit
many shits.
But before that, I would like to address that this podcast no longer sounds like shit. At least I hope so.
This is the newest innovation. This is officially 1.0.
Yeah, we are finally at 1.0.
Congratulations, everyone.
We have the technology.
Also, we're going to send a shout out to DJ Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You see, at this point, we need DJ Jesus to cut in with a sharp fucking track.
Yeah.
Like 14 seconds.
Like right now? Like right now?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah, like as we're talking.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Like over our voice right now.
Like to the point where no one can hear us.
Yeah.
And then it's
slow.
It
slowly builds up until it's only the track, and then it slowly builds down.
Yeah.
Maybe like this.
And it's going down right now.
Yeah.
Right this second. And
right now.
And now, it's gone.
And like maybe you could barely hear our noises, like if you were actually in a club.
Right.
And it sounds like, and like you just barely hear us.
And then someone took someone had ecstasy.
I could have sworn we said something about attempts to kill someone, but you know what? I'm
Hey,
pretty
man.
sure DJ Jesus has our back.
I'm pretty sure he does too.
DJ Jesus is the man.
Yes, he is.
Also,
I mean,
we would never premeditate murder. That's
I haven't
fucking
checked if
bonkers.
DJ Jesus is actually a man, but maybe we can check afterwards. I don't
Pretty
know.
sure DJ Jesus is a guy.
Okay.
He's one hairy fucker. He's got the beard.
He is almost a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
He had one fish, then I blinked and he had 15 fish, and I was like, yo, DJ Jesus, what's up with that? I was like, shut up.
I mean, actually, DJ Jesus is eyeing me right now and asking us to stop talking about him.
DJ Jesus,
We should
stop
probably honor
that. DJ
DJ
Jesus.
Jesus's
I
wishes.
ain't gotta
Yes.
stop jack shit, DJ Jesus.
Hey, man.
Oh,
Hey.
he cut the mic.
He got. Oh, it's gone.
Yep,
It's gone.
You can't hear Benny anymore.
Now there's just
Oh.
music again. So the audio setup, the science has changed, and it has changed for the better.
we have blinded Todd with science.
Yes, I was very much entrenched in my pagan religious beliefs, but now I believe in the science, and the science believes in me.
Coincidentally, we also found a man, a helpless man. We beat him severely. Will you let me finish?
Where are you going with this?
I don't even know. People are
So
dying.
we found a man, we beat him, and we did something to his vocal box, so now he can't talk. We technically bound and gagged him, and now he's working the mic system. I'd like to welcome DJ Jesus. Get that right, DJ Jesus.
No.
Oh, the anger in your eyes is so spicy right now.
DJ Jesus prefers to let his skills with the audio science do the talking.
Yeah.
At least for now, that we know of.
I mean, especially since he's bound and gagged.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong about that. Yeah.
He's being heavily guarded by a pair of genetically modified saguaro cactuses.
Okay, now it's time to not seem like we're drunk people. But yeah, a lot of stuff happened this week, more than we expected. Actually, the Nintendo stuff kind of came out of nowhere, like because they had made the announcement that the announcement was going to be made the next day, right? It was like the night before, which is Wednesday
Hey guys,
night.
we're gonna do something, and then bam,
Yeah,
you got
then-
slapped with a video.
The video was about 3 minutes and 37 seconds. So for a console reveal, it was more or less short, right? Like from what we're used to, like from like a Nintendo Direct, or even the Wii U. Like when the Wii U was announced, it was at an E3 conference, right? It was a Nintendo Direct conference, right?
Yes.
And but it was a way more comprehensive view of the Wii U. It was still like in that commercial kind of setting, you know, some dude in his cool pad playing the Wii U and fucking around with it. So, but this is very different. But yeah, we should probably just get into it because it's a lot to unfold despite us not having that much information. So we know now that the NX, the Nintendo NX, or should it have just have been the Nintendo X? Because does the N stand for Nintendo and NX?
Probably.
Maybe. So now we know that it's called the Nintendo Switch. What do you guys think about the name? Let's talk about that before you get into it any further.
I think it's okay. Yeah, I think it's an alright name.
I would have liked a bit more unique name, but it's fine.
I think Wii was a very unique name.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, now it's a household name too. And I think that they made the mistake with calling the Wii U because at the time, as we've known, people thought it was an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, you even saw that like on late night TV, like, oh, so this is not something to add on to the Wii. It's a new system.
Its own thing.
And that's where the downfall began. So it's, if anything, it's good that they moved away from calling it the Wii 2 or something along the lines of the Wii. But Switch, you know,
I
don't
think
know.
they were, I think they didn't want to stick with, like, the Wii line.
Yeah. They want to get away from that.
Yeah, I think they by now they definitely want to get away from that.
Yeah. Also, the tone of the commercial and the way the console is presented is very different from the Wii.
Definitely.
I want to save this for later, but I guess, looking at the commercial itself, the one thing that you can take away from that very quickly is that compared to the Wii or the Wii U, it wasn't very family oriented. Like there weren't kids in this. There were people our age,
millennials.
Yeah, millennials
running around,
young adults,
living life on the edge.
Yes, people in their 20s doing house roof parties. Because that's something that everyone does.
Playing basketball under
basketball.
To be fair, if we had a roof to do that,
I would fucking do it.
We would do that.
Yes,
so,
we would. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I thought that was definitely something really interesting, and I think that perspective kind of goes into the design of the console as well, because it looks very sleek. It's got like a darker color compared to the Wii and Wii U. Granted, those systems were multiple colors, but the base color of those systems was a lighter color, right? So it was like a plain white. And now this is like a darker, like charcoal, almost black. I mean, it looks charcoal to me.
It's actually their first dark-colored console since the Nintendo 64.
That's right. The first one was black, right? It was a black and gray console. It had like gray outlets, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think that goes hand in hand with the way it was presented. Also, like, one thing I want to say is that the Switch itself, which is basically a tablet, right? It is a tablet. It looks way cooler and way more modern than the Wii U tablet. Looking at the Wii U gamepad now, that thing looks like a Fisher-Price toy.
Yeah.
Compared to this, that's not meant to be offensive. It's just a observation. But yeah, I think considering the noise it makes when it goes back into the dock, or like when the two controllers go back in, I think maybe Nintendo Snap would have been maybe a good alternative name.
It's a bit more like punchy.
Yeah, it is a bit more punchy, but maybe it also.
I mean, I don't know any other brands that actually uses like Snap.
Yeah. Except from Pokemon Snap, but that's
Pokemon
a brand.
Snap,
that's a game within a brand.
I imagine that's probably why they didn't use it. I don't know if that thing is gonna have a camera. And,
we don't know that yet at all.
And if they use like, it's the Nintendo Snap, they're gonna be like, Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
So
Snap confirmed. Everyone start
if
rating.
it has a camera, Pokemon Snap possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you think that it's time for that game and that series to return.
Well, low key, there's actually Pokemon Snap in
Pokemon Go.
Moon and Go. No, not Pokemon.
Oh well,
Go.
Pokemon Go technically has a Snap
Sun and Moon
thing.
Sort of, but you don't really take pictures of the Pokemon.
It's true.
But in Sun and Moon, they low key put Pokemon Snap in there.
Well, so the system is called the Switch. It should be said that prior to this announcement, the night before when the announcement of the announcement was made, Bloomberg reported that during the night, Nintendo saw a 4.6% increase in their shares, adding more than $1 billion in market value to the company.
Yep.
And this is before a console was announced.
So,
no information whatsoever.
This trend is actually very prominent at the start of whenever a gaming company announces a new platform.
Yeah.
Their stocks go up. That's not a surprise that it's happening to Nintendo. They now have a good boost in sales, because I doubt they were doing very well this
quarter. No,
this
probably
quarter.
not. No, I would imagine the whole year has been kind of on the lower for them. And this is actually the biggest surge Nintendo has seen in more than a month following Pokemon Go. Because remember, when Pokemon Go was at its peak, Nintendo was seeing the benefits to that, but then when people, investors realized that it was not necessarily Nintendo pulling the strings and it was Niantic, then they lost a lot of that, right? Almost overnight also. But yeah, I thought that I'd add that before we go into it. Okay. And I will also say beforehand that information has changed since the reveal of the console, which we'll get to when we finish this wall of shit. Yeah. So the Nintendo Switch. Okay, Switch is kind of Switch. It rolls off the tongue. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Or like the Move. Nintendo Move.
Nintendo Move.
Yeah. I think there's already a Move.
Oh, the PlayStation Move.
Yeah.
Shit, you're right.
Oh, do you remember before the Wii, it was the Revolution?
Yeah. The Revolution sounded like a really
It sounded like a cool
great
name.
title.
Yeah.
But that was their working title.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I remember
the
when people first heard Wii, it's like, Wii?
Yeah.
Like, why Wii? And then that console blew the fuck
It
up.
did.
So.
Yeah, it definitely
we
did.
would like to play. And The thing is, WII is so unique that like it's something that had never been taken up before. So
and it's something that's so easy to search
on a Google engine.
Exactly.
You put WII,
and it automatically goes to Nintendo. I think that right now, right this moment, if you looked up Switch, it would be like half the first results would be about the Nintendo Switch, and then it would be about something else. Maybe there's a
Fancy
company called
sticks.
Switch. Fancy sticks.
I actually did this, and that exactly happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I put NX Switch on Google, and it took me to some like
Totally
advertising company
different,
or,
yeah.
something completely different.
So Switch isn't necessarily the most original name. Realistically, it's so difficult to. Also, it's going to take us time to get used to that name. Just think of the Wii, like you said. Like, what the fuck? What does that mean? Or like the Vita. I thought that was a terrible name for a system.
Viva la
The
vida.
Xbox One was really weird too, you know. Yeah, so basically the Nintendo Switch is a hybrid gaming system. It acts as two, right? So it's a home console and it's a portable console. So that means, well, it'll connect to a TV when resting in the Nintendo Switch dock, which I'll get into more information about the dock in a bit. And when it's lifted out of the dock, will instantly transition to portable mode according to Nintendo. So yeah, the unit itself offers a high definition display and features two detachable Joy-Con controllers on either side.
That's the new tech.
Also, I think saying Joy-Con controllers is like saying ATM machine, because I think con means controller.
Probably.
So just call them Joy controllers.
Joy control.
Yeah.
Control your joy.
Unless it's Joy Control controllers.
That's
You
no.
control your joy with it.
I don't think so.
But like a Mega Man move. Joy control.
It does sound like a Mega Man move.
Joy,
sorry.
actually, Joy
I feel
Control.
like that's Sonic.
Joy Control sounds like
Chaos Control?
like a C control, like stand.
C control. Okay. Yeah. I'll agree.
I like that.
You don't know what we're talking.
No,
about.
I don't.
Frozen assets.
I do not know. This is something.
Pac-Man Defense.
This is the thing. This is something that's going to be.
Overheated economy.
This
I'm
is.
sorry.
It's
I
fine.
have
No,
to.
keep
I
going.
have to.
That's fine. This is a recurring theme here.
I hope your girlfriend listens to this one, and when she hears that bit, she's like, "Oh, they watch C Control."
So this is
Todd,
an
why
anime,
haven't you watched C Control?
right?
No, for real though, Todd. Why aren't you watching C Control?
Fuck! Why have you watched
Todd,
it?
put that phone down, Todd. We're C Control.
Beating me to a pulp. So the first thing I want to get into is the dock itself, because that left people with a lot of questions. Like, it left me with some questions, like, where is the power coming from? Like, what is the actual processor? Where is that?
They sacrifice 17 fairies per system.
Oh,
And
jeez.
they obtain like 7 years worth of energy.
The technician for the Wii U is actually you dip the NX into a fountain, and a giant naked fairy comes out, and you hear the fairy fountain music from The Legend of Zelda.
That needs to be animated.
Yes,
it needs to be.
It only works if you're in the same water when you drop the NX into it, and if you have a toaster next to you, that might help.
I don't remember who. Oh yeah, it's Simmons. Simmons from Yo Video Games coined the dock
Nintendo
as
toaster?
the Nintoaster.
The Nintoaster.
The
Yeah,
Toaster.
Just kind of
Because you. Oh, okay. Like it pops in, pops out.
yeah.
Like a toaster.
Yeah.
And like other things that I'm not going to say on this podcast.
Hey guys, in the comments down below, why don't you put what you think Todd was gonna say?
Ah, jeez.
Oh, that's interesting. I actually don't do that. You might get banned.
You can't instigate our ghost viewers like that, Ben.
I mean, hey, the 4 people listening and watching in Russia will be very disappointed with us.
Very.
Yeah, very.
disappointed.
I am sorry.
That's okay. They'll probably sick their bears
I might
on us
not-
too.
Sorry.
God. Hey man, they do have bears.
Russia-
Bears are spooky, man.
Bears. You don't want to fuck with bears. You don't ever want to fuck with no bear.
I want that. I want that as a notification. Bears are spooky, though.
Is that gonna be the quote of the day? Bears are spooky, though.
Bears are spooky. They
Wait,
are.
what number podcast are we in? Did we say this?
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, we didn't. This
Well.
is 30.
39.
No, because oh no, we're
Back to 37?
This is back to this weird
Oh, this is delicious. This is proof that we're not
We're gonna
professional.
reset
36.
in like 2 episodes. We're gonna reset the entire fucking list.
Yes, we
so-
are. Because everything's going to change in 2 episodes. At least
Yeah.
we hope. Let's pretend it's 37.
So let's make it 30x.
Okay, 30x. That's
3x.
That's what's gonna go up on the YouTube page.
And we'll make this episode 3x Marcos and the spooky Russian bear.
Remind me of that because I have not been naming them.
It'll be a bear on a unicycle juggling like a couple of little balls with a little pointed hat on its head.
Okay.
And it'll be chasing after Marcos.
It's Comrade Borlov. He's a Russian bear for the KGB who occasionally helps Marcos on his missions.
Because the KGB still exists, according to Capello.
But secretly,
hey man, the KGB, you don't know.
I mean, Marcos probably knows.
Look,
Marcos
Borlov is
will know.
a sleeper agent, and every now and then when he says, "Can you pass me those boiled peanuts?" he activates and he goes crazy.
It's like,
and that's why he's chasing Marcos right now, and he needs to find the second phrase to turn him off, which is, "Never mind, boiled peanuts are gross."
It's like the Bucky thing from Civil War, where what was it, like fish, bananas, the number 4 activate for Russians or whatever. What the fuck it was? Yeah, it's like some kind of Russian thing.
Russian DLC expansion confirmed.
Yes.
This conversation has veered way to the left.
It is.
Let's
Let's go back to the NX.
So speaking of Russians, let's talk about the dock. Because according to me, Russians and Doc they go one and one.
Like
Even
the doctor?
though Russia has little to no access to the ocean.
This is true.
That you meant the doctor.
The question that people had was that, like, is the dock more than just an HDMI out, and a power source? So the main function of the dock itself is to provide an output to your TV, as well as charging and providing power to the system, according to Nintendo when they spoke to Polygon, which I will put in the notes below. So when you drop the system, it's a tablet, but that's basically the Switch. The tablet is the Switch. So when you drop the system into the dock begins charging it and outputting the game to an external screen over the HDMI connection.
Do you know if the controls would charge also while you have it like that?
So yes, so there are also 2 USB ports on the left side of the dock, which can be used for charging controllers or connecting other accessories that have yet to be announced. So we don't know whether the Switch itself uses USB or some kind of proprietary connection for its like other peripherals.
So, talking about the USB real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
If it is a data USB, that means that we could use external memory.
Media.
So you could basically just add a terabyte hard drive.
That's assuming that's what
that's
it is.
assuming. Yeah, that's
we don't know.
assuming.
We don't know this yet.
But
We're speculating.
Hopefully, if it's if the USB doubles as a data port, that's a possibility.
Yeah, and also it'd be kind of cool to be able to play, your movies or your TV or your music, externally as well. That'd be an interesting move. That's not something I would necessarily say I'd go to a Nintendo console to do, but having that option makes it more viable as a home theater kind of, a device among your home theater stuff. But yeah, so the one thing I was concerned about in particular was going from having it portable to connecting it back to the dock to connect to your TV via HDMI. Like, obviously there's going to be a difference in quality when it's portable and when it's, in full resolution on your TV, but I'm wondering if the resolution will suffer because it can do that on the whim,
Again, they've not released any
No,
specs
they haven't.
for it, except for the fact that it has an NVIDIA Tegra chip on
Yes, it does.
Now, those little things are powerful. And this is a custom Tegra, but
Yep.
let's compare it to something like the Razer tablet, right? The Razer tablet also obviously sports an NVIDIA Tegra chip, and the resolution on those things goes 1080p stable. Now, whether this is going to be the same case for the Switch is up for debate, right? But I doubt, at least at the very least, I'm hoping that it won't go below 720p.
Yeah, so do any Wii U games actually run at 1080? They do, right? Some of the first party stuff.
I believe Bayonetta runs at 1080.
Yeah, Mario Kart I think also does.
Mario Kart runs at 1080.
So I mean, in regards to what you said right now about NVIDIA, there being NVIDIA hardware in the system, they did say in a post on their website that even a custom API, a custom API was built called NVN to bring, according to this, to bring lightweight, fast gaming to the masses. So Integra, like you said, it's featured in that Razer tablet. It's also in the NVIDIA Shield.
Yes.
Which I played on in the NVIDIA Shield, and it's very impressive considering how small a package it is. But at the same time, it's definitely, it's like a NVIDIA tablet is on par with what maybe a last gen console can do. But I'm still concerned about, I mean, this is the thing, we've said this before, you're not going to a Nintendo console for graphic integrity. You're going to play games. You're going primarily for the gameplay experience.
Although it looks like, at the very least, by what the commercial looked like, it
Sure.
looks like they're addressing the higher fidelity, performance games,
Stepping it up,
and visually, it looked like if that prototype or that Switch that they were playing on in the commercial was in fact a usable. A usable Switch, right? It looked like it was running games really well. And that of course, may be just Nintendo fluffing it up, right?
It could. I will say that when they were playing Skyrim, it was very clear that he wasn't actually playing Skyrim. Like, there was no HUD on the video, like he wasn't actually playing the game. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they could have fluffed it up for sure. I'm just concerned about that loss of resolution and integrity going from the portable to the. Again, we don't have a lot of information right now, but if they can pull it off, obviously the chip inside it is a powerful one. I'm not trying to discount it, but if they can pull it off, that'd be pretty great.
Yeah,
that would be pretty great. But so this is the thing. Do you really? I'm asking you guys. Do you really see yourself taking it out? Like to play Breath of the Wild, let's use that as a perfect example. Do you really see yourself taking that off of the dock and playing it like on your bed? Do you really see yourself doing that with a game that I think most people would want to play on a television?
Right now in my room, I don't have a couch or a chair that faces my TV that isn't, I basically have a cheap, office chair for my computer setup, right?
Yeah.
And which is fine, but I don't like sitting on that thing for
a long period of
time. When I get tired, I would definitely, say I don't have a couch by the time the NX comes out. I would definitely just pick it up
and
play it on
take
my
it to your bed.
Like, I do that for any tablet game. Like, I watch videos on my tablet because, it's like the angle that my bed is and the angle that my TV is opposite. So, it's not comfortable or it's not, very good looking at the TV. So I use my tablet, right? And I play games on my chair, but like I said, it's not comfortable. It's not super comfortable, so I don't play them for long periods of time. Anytime that I could just hop into my bed and play, I do.
Yeah.
So in that regard, that appeals to me. Now, that's not everybody. I know a lot of people. You have a really nice couch here that looks straight onto your TV. You probably wouldn't want to just pick it up and put it onto your bed. So,
sure.
It
definitely depends. Kind of like with VR, it depends on the living situation, whether you'll be able to do certain things or not. If anything, I would say that when I did have a Wii U in my room, and it was cold one morning, and I had it in my house, and I didn't feel like actually coming to the TV because I was cold, right? I wanted to just wrap myself up in bed and play something. So I grabbed the Wii U gamepad and I was playing Earthbound on my bed. And I thought, this is a great experience because I don't have to do shit. I could just grab in fact, I could have just literally had it on the table next to my bed, nowhere near the television. It would have been just fine. So, if anything, I do imagine myself in those kind of situations where it's like in the mornings, especially if it's cold, I like to sit on the porch with a cup of coffee. It'd be cool to grab the Switch and just go and do some menial gaming out there, right? Just to entertain myself. But I don't think I'd want to play like those full console experiences on a screen like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that takes away from that experience.
I'd imagine in some regards it does. But,
yeah, especially for very cinematic games, I can imagine playing like a Mario game on the Switch portable, but like Zelda or something very big and kind of like something that you're supposed to be immersed in, I feel like that's something that you'd rather have on a bigger screen. That's just me, of course. Benny, what do you think?
I mean, you could for specifically like that instance that you were explaining, you could use it for, let's pretend you need to get to a location. Just play it to get to that location, press start. Okay, I'm pretty sure there's going to be cuts in here.
Yeah, let me go back upstairs.
Let me finish my coffee.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Or hell, you could just use it to like I'm pretty sure there's going to be material grinding in that game. While you're literally just running around collecting, weapons and material. Do it while you're having some coffee outside. Yeah.
I do like that idea. Now they just need, I'm also, obviously, just like with any kind of like high-end device that you use, like a phone or a tablet, I would be concerned about taking it into certain places, even on the porch, I'd be concerned. I mean, there's always the possibility with any high-end device you could just drop it. So that those risks haven't changed.
Your dog might, hey, I want to play.
I want to play
Scratch.
It's, people take their phones out everywhere.
Oh yeah, because they have no choice. They have to.
No, well, you don't.
I mean, technically you don't. Stay away from like social networks.
People take their tablets everywhere.
Yeah, people take pictures with their tablets in public.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a point in technology where as long as it's not a fucking Apple, as long as it has any sort of backbone at all, it won't break the first time that you drop it. So it's not like this is just and then I'm sure like there's gonna be like the Nerf cases,
of course, because and the Nerf cases worked really well on 3DS, I think. So
yeah, I mean, there'll likely be like some nice sturdy cases for you to protect your system you're supposed to be able to take wherever.
Now that you said that, if they're going to release peripherals to protect the Switch itself, are they going to release one that you don't have to take off and snap back in, like once you put it back into the dock?
I want the backpack over the shoulder. It has like a little stand, and it'll hold it right in front of your face. And you just play.
I mean, Benny, don't worry. Someday,
the backpack is a giant battery, and you could do it while walking in the street, and just have someone just mash right into you.
I mean,
doing 60 on that highway. Mm-hmm. Why were you on the highway playing
Breath of the Wild?
Dogs?
Ben, don't worry. I mean, I'm pretty sure within the next 5 years, we'll probably never have to leave your bed.
When that happens, it's gonna be. I blame Nintendo. Nintendo wanted me to get on that highway.
You're gonna have what's his name, Jack Thompson, the anti-video game crusader, come out from his rock. Under the rock that he lives in. Jesus Christ. That guy's not... I think he lost his license.
I think,
It's hilarious.
Yeah, something like that. I guess, again, they haven't actually announced any peripherals aside from what we saw in the commercial itself, which we'll get to next. What's up?
The backpack could drill directly into your spine so that you never lose it.
Is that also supposed to be a way for you to feel the vibration from the game?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck.
If that's how you want.
I mean, if that's how devious you want to be
about it.
Side
effects may include rust in your spine.
So one thing that you had mentioned before we get to like other peripherals is that it charges via HDMI.
What? That sounds so odd.
Wait, it charges via the HDMI cable?
That's what you just said. According in the thing has the dock has an HDMI and it charges it.
Well, I mean, the dock acts as the power source or as a charging source.
Could be,
but the HDMI is for the video output.
Like, imagine when you plug it into an toaster. What if it's those batteries that charge without you having to connect it, and the actual power source is on the inside of the toaster? Well, the HDMI could be just the HDMI.
It is just an HDMI, yeah.
Well,
I'm not sure if you can get electricity, like charge something through an HDMI.
You could.
Really?
You can?
It's
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's feasible, yeah. It's a feasible thing to do.
But how fast? That's the thing.
I mean, an HDMI cable, it carries a lot of data.
It does, you're right.
So, yeah, unless from the article that you had read that were about the docket, it sounded like the HDMI actually charges it, which, like, for one, I doubt that they would put a magnetic charging into such a thing.
The port itself.
Because one, magnetic charging is an interesting way to charge. It doesn't it's not a very viable way to charge things right now. So
I'd have to go back and read that in full because I only took bits and pieces from it, but it'll also be in the show notes. But I'll go back and read that for clarification.
Yeah.
So the next thing, I guess, is the controllers themselves, right? So there are two different kind of ways you can play, I guess, on it. So the first one is basically the Joy-Con controller, which is, the Joy-Con controller, can be slotted into an accessory called, okay, so the Joy-Con is basically just like on the gamepad, right? On the gamepad for the Wii U, it was a screen, and then on both sides, you know, the tablet itself acted as a controller while acting as a screen. And it's kind of the same thing with the Switch itself. But
that now you can slide
them off, and they can act as two separate controllers, right, for multiplayer, and they can connect together if you want to have, like, more or less, like, a traditional kind of controller experience.
Well, they connect onto a little...
Yeah, so it's called the Joy-Con grip, to mirror a more traditional controller. Now, this is an accessory sold separately, according to what we've read so far.
It's probably a battery, isn't it? There's a battery in there?
I would assume that there is a battery, like, in the center, like, where you actually, join both controller pieces, which is, I think is actually a pretty cool concept, but I feel like that's an accessory that should be in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
But if also, like, I guess the big thing is that you can slide both of them out, like we've already talked about, but you can also slide them out and you can use them as two separate controllers for multiplayer experiences, which I think is a cool idea, but I can't imagine that you would want to play every multiplayer game that way, like, because
I imagine there are gonna be games where you just can't do that.
There's not going to be, because those two pieces act as one controller, and then now you're splitting up functions.
At the buttons.
I can't imagine, like, saying, hey, let's play Super Smash Bros. With this. I just can't imagine how that works with it.
I mean, like,
you know,
like even they had to make a GameCube controller for the Wii U.
Exactly, because it just wasn't plausible.
Smash. Like,
yeah.
they're not, it's not like you're not gonna play fighting games in an
Absolutely
individual
no,
Joy-Con.
You would want...
Here's what you can probably do. You can Mario Kart, or you can Super Mario.
You can Mario Party.
Yeah, you can probably Mario Party.
You can probably, do, I imagine it's gonna be for the way more simple games, where it's
like
very
Mario,
viable.
like just like platforming Mario games. Yeah, so aside from that, the console will, the Switch will also support a Nintendo Switch Pro controller to be used instead of the detachable Joy-Con units, which very much resembles the Wii U Pro controller. And I thought that the way it looked, because they show a snippet of it, right? They show it, I think, at the beginning.
I saw an Xbox
under the
controller.
TV. Yeah, like it basically looks like a modern controller.
It has an Xbox layout, actually.
It does, the exact
pictures,
layout. Yeah, and it also seems like the side where you hold the grip itself, compared to the Wii U classic controller, they look like actual grips. Because I remember handling the classic controller for the Wii U, and it didn't feel like you were actually gripping onto anything. So it looks like they're taking the traditional kind of controller route more seriously, and I think that's important, especially with their tone. Most people want to play on a traditional controller, so that should be a viable option. Honestly, that's the kind of thing where I want to have that in the box itself, but I know that's not going to happen, that they're going to sell that separately, at least to keep the price feasible, I mean, they'll probably put it like in a bundle or something, but if I were to get a Switch, I would want that controller.
Yep.
Yeah, because that controller does look like it'll do the work.
To be honest, I'd probably be happy with the
Switch controllers themselves.
The Joy control?
The Joy-Con. Well, the Joy-Con, the joiner, the little dog. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
People were... The Switch,
like the handles look like little dog.
The Switch.
Yeah,
pupper.
I saw that. That was kind of cute. But okay, so what do you guys think about the Joy-Con controllers? Do you think that's them continuing their idea of innovation in a much more gradual way than, like, say, for the Wii?
Well, so one of the biggest gripes with, like, doing an emulation on a tablet or something like that is that if you don't have a wireless controller,
it's totally
it's
difficult to play.
It's like playing on a touch screen is not, even if you have haptic feedback, it's just not. So having something like a Joy-Con is an excellent idea, because it has two of them right on the console.
Yeah, basically.
That's problem solved, know.
It is.
You can now do things like RPGs, easy. You can do things like, like platformers, easy, you need one Joy-Con controller. By what it looks like, it looks kind of small. It's the only, I imagine people with fat hands are not gonna have a good time playing on a single Joy-Con controller.
Also,
that was my one thing. Like, I hope it's comfy, and I hope it doesn't hurt my hands.
It's so hard to tell,
because even that first DS, that should hurt my hands. That thing was small.
Yeah,
man.
it was very cramped.
Yeah.
Also, the one thing I noticed is that I probably have to look at a picture of the Switch again, but the D-pad looks so fucking small on that thing.
That's a plus button.
It's not even a D-pad.
On the opposite side,
on the left
that's
side.
a negative button. On the upper, that's not a D-pad.
So
that's
there
a plus. And
so
that's
there
the
is no
minus.
D-pad
Well,
on the system.
the thing is
get
that
two
no,
joysticks.
there actually is not a D-pad. Like you have a.
Yeah.
It's
weird to
'cause-
me. That's all.
It's because like almost all controllers since since the PlayStation
I've had the optional
2
D-pad.
have had a
Yeah.
D-pad.
Yes.
So the
I mean,
the actual Joy-Con controllers, basically, if you're using both of them, your D-pad is the little buttons at the
Sure.
bottom.
Yeah.
So it has a
That's your
D-pad if you're
D-pad.
using both of them. If you're using one controller,
You lose, like I said, you
get
lose half of that.
You get
joystick
you
and
get a
4
SNES.
buttons.
You get a SNES controller.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
I think there's also a shoulder. Maybe.
There should
was
be.
there a shoulder button?
Well, you can't see a shoulder button, but I'm
I want
fairly
to say I saw like the bump of a shoulder. button.
I'm fairly certain there will be a shoulder button.
But yeah, those buttons that you're seeing on the upper, like the plus was on the upper left of the right control.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a plus. That's not a D-pad. In nobody's dream is a D-pad going to be
Maybe that's
that's
small.
small.
and
It's
usable.
impossible. No. So, I mean, I would imagine, like you said, like, they made specific controller. They made, they remade GameCube controllers for the Wii U version of Smash Brothers. You're gonna want, if you're gonna play any kind of fighter or brawler on the Switch, you're gonna buy that Pro controller for
Yeah.
sure, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a for sure thing.
You are not going to play a fighter on a
Unless you
single
hope for
Joy-Con.
that photoshopped image of the GameCube control cut in half, and they're just slipping
You
it
just
onto the.
slip both sides. See, like if they had peripherals like that,
That would like snap on.
That would be-
neat
that
and
would be
fun.
pretty neat.
That'd be like they could make so many peripherals, and it would be overwhelming.
Also, it would be just so much shit to have. Why can't it be simple as one controller? But obviously, that's not what Nintendo does.
I mean, that's what they're trying to do.
I know.
They
Yeah.
have the Joy control, which turns into a NES control,
Yeah.
which is it's 2 controls,
Yeah.
and it's also 1 control. So they're doing stuff.
Yeah. No.
So what I want to know is like if there's a 4-player game, can I bring my 2 Joy controls over to your house and we just sync them?
So I think
So-
that in the video on the roof party they had 4. I'm pretty sure I saw people with 4 controllers.
but they had 2 switches.
They had 2 switches.
So
I
I
saw a
imagine
basketball one.
the
where it's
most.
like,
I imagine
your
the
switch, my
Yeah.
switch, 2 people there, 2 people over here.
Yeah, I imagine the most split screen that you're gonna get is 2 people. Because 4 players on a single switch sounds
Makes-
like a nightmare.
at least not in portable mode.
Yeah, at least not in portable.
How are we gonna
Yep.
get that 8-player Smash though?
I mean, that's
That's
where
online.
You would have to.
Smash is dead.
You would have to. No, see, you will be able to do a player smash with at least 4 switches, or when it's
8
in the
switches.
dock, or 8 switches. Because you know what? If it connects up to 8 people at a time, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty incredible feat.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think you'd only use it for Smash. I don't think there's anything else that they've ever brought up with like 8 themes can run.
Yeah, for sure. I think we saw like that 4 of them. Yeah, during the when they showed off the Splatoon thing.
Yes.
they had 4 of them
Yeah,
that
they
were
did have 4
connected
with
So-
one tablet with one Switch.
No,
tablets, I
it's
wanna
with
say.
no.
I don't remember.
And during the Splatoon segment, it was each one of them had their own.
Oh, their own
'Cause
Switch.
They
yes.
were
Yeah, that
being
was-
professional, and they were like
Yeah.
slamming it down onto the toaster. It was coming out on the monitor in front
Yeah.
of them. They were like, "Yeah, we practiced for this. We're ready."
So yeah, but they were they had connected them together to practice at least 4. So
Yeah.
at least 4 of them are gonna have their own. You're gonna be able to connect to at least 4 other people or 3 other people, which is cool functionality.
It is really cool.
It's
yeah.
cool
Especially
functionality.
in a time where, if you think about it, the only platform or the big 3 that is still, where couch co-op and single unit multiplayer is still a thing is with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because even with the PlayStation and with the Xbox, I can't even name 10 co-op games on either console, where last generation I could
Blue
name
Moon.
more than a dozen.
Yeah.
Like what was it? I think the Halo 5 didn't have split screen multiplayer of any sort, and that's always been a staple at a franchise, So I think that is a very cool thing. I think I'm glad that that's still a part of their identity, because I think that's, like I said, it is a part of what Nintendo is as a as a philosophy. I think
they're still keeping it where it's
they're moving,
a bunch of guys together having fun.
Yeah, they're moving forward, but some of those
it's not so
isolated,
it's
closed
children
off.
Having fun. It's now millennials.
Now it's
having fun.
everyone having fun. So I think about it. Like, I think the marketing for the Wii was everyone's having fun. Kids are having fun. Your grandparents are having fun. They're playing Wii bowling. And then with the Wii U, it was kind of in between, right? But there was still a lot of family-friendly stuff on the Wii U, despite it not having that many third-party partners. But now it seems like they're going for our generation.
You're not going to see Grandpa and Skyrim. I'm sorry.
No, probably not. No.
Grandpa and Skyrim don't mix.
No, they don't.
Those lights are the devil.
So, like, the thing is that the initial marketing push is, it looks like it's for our generation, right? But we're the Nintendo generation.
Exactly.
Like, it's definitely like, all right, well, these are the people, this is the age that the people who are playing our games are right now. This is the majority. And I'm sure, like, you know, we have kids who are going to play, we have more adults who are going to play. But the ones who are going to get excited for this
are the people who grew up with it.
Yeah, are the people who grew up with it. So we'll market the first one towards them. I think that's what they did.
I think that's very smart.
Which is smart.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very smart.
They already had 2 console generations
They'll
to
start
market to
appealing
everyone.
to the kids when they bust out, you know, automatically when they bust out, like, any AAA Nintendo thing, like Mario Party, Mario Kart. That's automatically kids. It's also us, but, like, it's so appealing to the kids.
More recently, it's been a thing that kids play more than people
I think
our age.
the Skyrim being there is to prove that it's not just for the kids.
We're gonna have a lot more. You know, we're going to make things for the people who love gaming that grew up with us, which is a great.
Well, it's great, and I think that again, Skyrim from that perspective is a great choice because Skyrim is a very popular, much newer, even though it's technically 5 years old now.
It's
a
not
much
something
newer
the
game.
kids strive for.
No, it's not. It's something way more in depth, I think, and something that people our age are still talking about today. We're Nintendo once again. Hey, we're still talking about Skyrim. You know.
Yeah.
With that said, you know, I think that's also going to affect the games we'll see. Maybe not at launch, but in the future. What if this is them saying, "Hey, we're going to bring back the games that you've been wanting to see for a long time." You know, because they are now, because like you said, Capello, they're marketing it towards us, people who grew up with the systems that have played those games and have yet to see them since Nintendo 64 or GameCube.
At least initially, that's what they're doing. Because we're basing this off of first 3-minute commercial, and you know, that commercial definitely was for our generation.
It absolutely
right?
was. Yeah, it's very well made.
Yeah, it's definitely marketed towards us. So at least that's the initial reaction. Right, and you know, by the developers that they're bringing on, it actually is very likely that you're going to see a lot of the third-party games that have showed up on PS4 and
more mature
Xbone.
Titles.
Yeah, more mature titles.
I mean, that's what I don't want to like single it out, but that's what it comes down to. You know,
basically, right? And there's a lot of possibility. We're likely going to talk about the partners soon.
We will.
Probably extensively also, because there are some interesting people in there.
There are, absolutely.
But by the initial first look at the list, there's some potential for the games that we've been missing from Nintendo since forever, really.
Yeah.
Like since Nintendo 64, where they had a lot more mature content.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and it sort of died down.
It's died down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and then with the Wii, it was almost not. There were a couple of titles here and there that slipped between the cracks that were like, "Hey, this is a
more
a genre M-rated game." Yeah, there was a couple things like that. Do you remember there was it the Ring game? Was it the Ring?
Well, that thing was goofy, almost funny.
It was funny.
And it wasn't the Ring. I think it was the Grudge.
But yeah, well, speaking of games. So one of the rumors that we talked about a couple months ago was that they were reverting. They're getting away from the CD, and they were going to do cartridges. And that has been confirmed. And actually, if you think about it, this is actually the first time they've done cartridge for a home console since the N64. Because after the N64, the GameCube had those little discs, and then it moved over to CD, and then it moved over to Blu-ray with the Wii U. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about them reverting to?
It's been working completely fine on the DSs, even the Vita, and you know what?
Yeah, that's true. No, I was about to say, but that is a handheld console, you know.
I mean, so is the NX.
It's the hybrid.
It's the hybrid. I mean, cartridge is fine. It's actually a lot harder to damage a cartridge than a disc.
It's also easy to lose.
It is also easier to lose.
Yeah, so
but
I mean, there are pros and cons to everything.
With a little dedication, it becomes harder to lose a cartridge. You know,
That's true.
I'm sure they're gonna sell the Nintendo brand hard cases where you can just put your NX games in there.
Slam them down, all up in there.
And
Yeah.
you know, just like the 3DS. Like I have never lost a 3DS game in my life. You can like anything small like that, of course, it's losable.
Yeah, it's totally losable.
At the same time, you have no fear of dropping it and breaking it. Considering like this hybrid console you're supposed to be able to take anywhere, cartridges makes more
perfect sense.
Yeah.
No, they do.
Not only that, you can store a lot of data in cartridges now.
Nowadays.
I would not be surprised if the games may come with their own memory.
That would be kind of nice, especially if the system itself, kind of like with the Wii U. Remember the Wii U launched with, what was it, like a 16 and a 32 gig console, like different SKUs. So, well, actually, when it comes down to the cartridge itself, you know, it does look a lot like they do look a lot like 3DS cartridges, which really, if you think about it, we only saw it for a split second, right? Like at the beginning when they were putting in the cartridge for the Mario game or something. I forgot what it was.
I think for Breath of the Wild.
They definitely did.
No, you saw it.
That was a video game cartridge.
You saw them putting in, you saw the guy putting a
Yeah.
cartridge in the NX.
Exactly. Again, they do look a lot like the 3DS cartridges, and the information I have here is that 3DS cartridges can reportedly go up to 8 gigs in capacity, but of course, you know, it runs at a much lower resolution. So one of the games that was shown in the trailer was NBA 2K17, which is unexpected. Most people didn't expect sports games to necessarily return in a big way after the Wii U. But yeah, so basically, you know, that game is already out on the PS4 and the 360. The Xbox One. The install for that is 40 gigs on those systems. So will a cartridge be able to hold that much, do you think? Or even more so? Because imagine, there's a couple of games like that go way over the 50 gig limit.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I want to point out that there is now a 1 terabyte micro SD card. I think it's possible. Memory saving is getting cheaper and smaller by the day. So I think it's very, very much possible that the cartridges may come with their own memory.
Which, again, I think would be pretty great. I do miss the idea of the game itself having the memory for your save. I mean, I know it's kind of an antiquated thing, but it still works for the 3DS, right? So, speaking of that, they were asked if the Switch would support DS and 3DS games. The information that we have right now is that it won't. And that obviously it won't support the Wii U discs or the Wii discs, because the only tray it has is for the Switch cartridges. Now, it hasn't been confirmed whether downloadable stuff is going to be transferable, you know, like from the Virtual Console stuff, but they're not talking about that right now. So what do you think? Okay, so first of all, what do you think about backwards compatibility on the physical level? Do you think is that a bummer, or do you think that it's okay for them to kind of move on and concentrate on what's coming up, what's new, the future of the console itself, and not really worrying about what happened on the Wii U, or whether Wii U games are playable on this console?
I think it's fine. Let them move away from it. I mean, that's clearly what they're trying to push for, right? It's no longer just for anybody. It's the millennials. And a movement away from it is perfectly fine. I'm more than sure they're gonna have, you know, the eShop in there, and they're gonna have some old games, you know, there again.
Like they'll likely,
they always do.
What it's gonna be likely is like anything that you've bought on the Virtual Console will be able to be played on the end. Like it's going to be. This system is going to be a major downloading system. You're very much going to get a lot of your games by downloading them instead of getting a cartridge. Because I imagine a lot of third-party developers maybe won't jump onto just a small cartridge for their game.
Or the idea of having to pay for the manufacturer of a cartridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, no, it might not be as bad, you know, because CDs are typically super cheap, and the cartridges for the 3DS are actually also not
that
expensive.
Yeah.
However, because of of its functionality, downloading games it feels like downloading games is going to be the thing to do. So I would hope at least that any title that you got, you know, on Virtual Console, be it old SNES games, or, you know, like you could
Wii
download
games,
Splatoon,
GameCube games, yeah.
You know, and any old games that are downloadable, you'll be able to play on your NX.
I would hope so, because I know a lot of people, I mean, just like with any other platform, people purchase use, digital games, and that's part of their library. And for a lot of people, it sucks that, you move over to a new console and you can't play that stuff that you already paid for, and therefore you're gonna have to pay for it again and again and again.
I think if anything, this Switch is the one to do it. Nintendo has had a gigantic problem with emulation, for years and years and years, and they have been trying to, okay, so here are old games that people like, we're making them downloadable now. The NX is a perfect fit to that. The fact that you could just get up, like, you wouldn't play Super Metroid on a big screen. So play it on your NX screen in your bed. Perfect.
Well, speaking of the games themselves, we already, since the next bullet point, the Tegra stuff, but we already talked about that, so we're good. Also, we don't have a lot of information to begin with, and
just that it's a custom Tegra chip. Tegra's powerful.
Tegra's strong.
Games, obviously, you can't launch a platform without games, and we already knew about a couple games that were coming. We've already seen quite a bit of footage, and we have a lot of information about Breath of the Wild, but they did show some new footage at the beginning, right? That's how they opened, which I think is the best way to open a commercial about a Nintendo platform with. And then they showed a new Mario game very briefly, like it wasn't even 5 seconds, which looks like it could be that step. Like, I've talked about before how it was Mario 64, and then it was Sunshine, and then it was Galaxy, those big steps forward. And then for the Wii and the Wii U, for the Wii U, there was no big step forward. There was just Super Mario Wii U, which is a fine game, but it was not an evolution of the Mario franchise. So, and it looks like this might be.
There's a little theory running around that, the world didn't seem super curved, so it might not be a new Galaxy. And they show him kind of like behind Mario type of view.
Yeah,
where you're triple jumping and long jumping. Yeah. So it might be a 64-esque type of game.
I mean, that's kind of exciting.
They show him running through some sort of little town, but they don't show enemies in that town. So what if that was the hub? What if we're going back to?
Well, they showed a bullet bill
in there.
Yeah, he was being shot at by a bullet bill.
But that wasn't in the town. That was once he's on a bridge, right?
That was in the town. Yeah, in the
I have
red
to look
town.
at it again. The footage. Someone turned it into a GIF because it's short enough.
Yeah,
to fit all the footage into a GIF.
You can.
Evolution, the next big thing for that franchise, I mean, it seems like now would be the best time to do it for a new platform, And I would hope that would be a running theme with all of their franchises, Obviously, it is with Zelda, right? We talked about this when they announced, when they showed footage of Breath of the Wild. It looks very different from the previous games. But yeah, they showed Mario. Those are the only first-party games that we saw, which realistically, that's all people need to see right now.
Right.
They also showed Splatoon, which they haven't confirmed, but I would imagine it's a remaster or like a re-release with some new stuff, new content, and not like a Splatoon 2, right? I think it's too early for that.
It could be maybe an upscaled, like Splatoon Complete Edition or something.
Also, I think they actually did show Mario Kart at some point.
They did.
They did.
They showed a King Boo.
Which is not a character.
King Boo is King Boo's not a character in any other Mario
Kart. Also, in the upper right corner, they show a mushroom and then a slightly smaller circle. Mm-hmm. So they're thinking it's a Double Dash-esque, hold 2 items at once.
That's a deep look into it.
It's a nice little,
That's a really good analysis because that, again, any game footage is very short. Almost like I said, you could put all the little game snippets.
Scraping the edges and corners trying to find anything right now.
Pretty much.
So in terms of third-party games, the only 2 that we saw were Skyrim, which again, we mentioned earlier, but I don't think it was actually being played on the console. I think it was just video footage. Because again, there was no HUD, and, there is a HUD in Skyrim. And NBA 2K17, which we talked about a little earlier. This is the thing, and I don't think we mentioned this on the podcast. I think we were talking about this before we started recording. I think that this is very reminiscent of the Wii U when that launched, because if you recall, they had a couple third-party partners, and they had a Wii U version of Batman Arkham City, right? And I remember the interview that Jeff Keighley had with Reggie Fils-Aimé, and he asked them, Batman Arkham City came out a year ago. Like, are people going to really want to play that on the Wii U, right? And he was asking him hard-hitting questions. And this is kind of a very similar situation. The difference is that, yes, I know Skyrim is very popular. I love Skyrim. But it's also very, very old compared to, at the time, the Wii U version of Arkham City. I don't know, do you feel that maybe this isn't necessarily the best? I mean, I don't feel like this is the best way to show that third-party support. I think that if they were going to show a Bethesda game, maybe show a newer game, something more recent.
I mean, seeing Fallout 4 there probably would have, garnered more, like...
Possibly. Yeah, maybe.
The thing is, the fact that Bethesda was featured, that says something.
It does.
Proof of support, almost.
It's even though they haven't commented
No,
since,
they haven't.
Like,
They've refused to comment about it.
They've stood silent on it. The fact that it was featured means that, well, one, Skyrim, while old,
It's very popular.
it's, people love it.
Relevant. I
Not
still
recent.
play it.
You know what?
I mean, less than a week since the update.
Portable Skyrim sounds amazing.
Really, though?
Hell yeah, bro!
I don't
You
know.
could literally go into Skyrim and then dick around like you
I guess.
usually do
Yeah.
without having to sit down at your computer. Like, you could do that fucking anywhere. For me, at least for me, that's appealing.
Sure,
A
I
portable
understand.
Skyrim. I could be, on a
see,
plane.
We're going about it the wrong way. This is Bethesda. For Todd, it's Fallout 4.
Portable Fallout 4.
I don't.
You see, there's a smile on them.
No, this is the thing. Again, just like how I said earlier, I don't need those experiences on a smaller screen. That's just me. But I mean, like portable
Yeah, but
Skyrim.
what if you're on your way to PAX?
What if you're on an
What
airplane?
if you're on
heading
PAX? What if you're
somewhere?
at PAX East and you have a long flight ahead of you? And guess what? You have a cartridge with Fallout 4 in it in your bag.
You have
that
a
you
backpack
can
that's
play
drilled onto your spine
with
and
a
it's-
controller.
Okay. When you put it that way, maybe. Yeah.
So
Maybe. No,
maybe.
not maybe.
No, it's a
You're
maybe.
jumping on that.
Not necessarily, but I see where you're coming from.
what I'm really want to hit home isn't the fact that it's Skyrim.
Yeah, the fact that Skyrim is not important.
The fact that it's Skyrim is whatever.
Yeah.
What the big deal is that Bethesda
Yeah.
is on board.
Yeah, to make
Which
games.
means the new Elder Scrolls, potentially. Which means the new Wolfenstein, potentially.
Yeah.
Which
Doom.
means Doom,
Yeah.
potentially.
Good God,
Bethesda...
imagine Doom on a Nintendo platform.
I mean, it's been
It's been
a
on a
long,
P-
but it's
yeah.
been a
It's
very
been a
long
very
time.
long
It's been a
time.
long time.
So,
Nintendo 64 was the last time.
Kids
Doom was
best
on.
be scared now.
So it's the implication that Bethesda can now develop games for a Nintendo property, which opens them up to a whole market that they haven't touched. And the fact that the reason why Skyrim is because it just got an HD.
Yeah.
And
28th of this month.
It's the 20th? I thought it was already.
It's Friday.
so it's about to get an HD,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
That HD is still going to be fairly fresh when the NX comes out.
A couple months, yeah.
Yeah. So if that's a launch title, as a first game to you get your Breath of the Wild, you get your Skyrim, and then you're good for months.
Now, there's also the off chance that this Skyrim being the new version might have the mods. It's iffy.
That's super iffy right now.
That's super
Yeah.
iffy. We can't, because Nintendo is just stupidly conservative. We don't know how far they're pushing the envelope, but even just base HD Skyrim portable and Breath of the Wild, if those two are there on launch, you're gonna be good for a while.
I agree with you. I think that, again, I'm going to play devil's advocate on this still. And this is somebody who loves the game. Do you need it on another platform? I would imagine that people, since they're marketing it towards us, right? I would imagine that a good portion of people, in our circles have already played Skyrim and probably own it on 2 different platforms. Do you really need it on a third platform? And does it need to be a Nintendo platform?
So, my computer runs like ass.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have enough to buy a whole new computer
Sure.
very soon. If the NX is at a reasonable price and I can play Skyrim on it,
Sure.
He's jumping on that.
Done.
Just wondering.
And it's gonna look good, hopefully.
Guys, that's all they showed, in terms of games.
It's all we can scrape right now.
Basically.
Fingers are bloody.
Which is more than we've gotten all year, really. Because they refuse to talk about it all year.
Aside from rumors.
Aside from
and
rumors.
leaks, quote unquote.
Maybe you can get some ideas of the games that could come potentially with the variety of partners, developers and studios that are going to have hopped on to help Nintendo launch their console or in the future. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and go through all of their partners in a nice little list. Okay, get ready for this. It's going to be great. And we're going to start now. They have 48 Remember, 48 partners. Are you ready for this, Capello?
I am ready for this.
Are you ready for this, Benny? He's far away from his mic.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. 505 Games. Activision Publishing Incorporated. Arc System Works Company Limited. Atlas Company Limited. Audio Kinetic Incorporated. Autodesk Incorporated. Bandai Namco Entertainment Incorporated. Bethesda. Capcom Company Limited. Codemasters. I think Codemasters make racing games.
Code Monkeys.
Codemasters. That's an old show.
Yeah.
CRI Middleware Company Limited. DNA Company Limited. Electronic Arts. That's a big one. Epic Games? I didn't read this list before.
Really? You didn't read this?
I can tell by your astonishment.
Epic Games. Okay. Firelight Technologies. From Software Incorporated. Frozen Byte. Game Trust, which is the GameStop publishing deal. Grasshopper Manufacture, which that's exciting. I'm excited about anything Grasshopper does. Gunho Online Entertainment Incorporated. Hamster Corporation. Havoc, which is a engine. Inti Creates Company Limited. Koei Tecmo Games Company Limited. Konami Digital Entertainment Company Limited.
There's nothing gonna come from that.
Nothing gonna come from that.
Pachinko.
Oh God. Level 5 Incorporated. Marvelous Incorporated. Maximum Games LLC. I'm gonna butcher this. Nippon Ichi Software. Nipponichi.
Japan is number one.
Parody Bit Incorporated. Platinum Games Incorporated. Ready at Dawn Game Tools, or RAD Game Tools Incorporated. Rico Choku Company Limited. Sega Games Company Limited. Silicon Studio Corporation. Spike Chunsoft.
Oh my God.
Chunsoft.
Spike Chunsoft.
Sorry.
Chunsoft. Yeah.
Chunsoft Company.
You're going into a real hard
Spiky
C
soft
there.
cunt.
Spiky soft cunt.
Square Enix Company Limited. Starbreeze
Enix.
Studios. Take-Two Interactive Software.
Spiky soft.
Telltale Games. THQ Nordic, which recently became a thing. Tokyo RPG Factory, which is a subsidiary of Square Enix, right? TT Games. Ubisoft, because of course. Ubisoft Incorporated. Unity Technologies. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, because of course we need a new version of Arkham City on this console. And Web Technology Corporation. End music. So that's the 48 developers and studios that have officially announced their support for the Switch. Now, do any of those, obviously aside from Bethesda, which we spoke to ad nauseum already, do any of those really kind of pop at you?
Wait.
Konami is a lie.
Konami isn't going to develop shit for that console.
No.
But there
It's
are...
just the show face.
It's just basically. There are a lot of developers there that are interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me point out the biggest one for me.
Spiky soft cunt.
A spiky soft cunt. No, the biggest one for me, and there's some big ones. The biggest one is Activision. You wanna know why? Because Blizzard is owned by Activision.
Oh yeah, but
and Blizzard.
sure.
You know what? I don't care what the fuck you say, Todd.
Oh, I haven't said anything yet.
Todd, this is my night.
Todd, you shut up right now.
Okay.
Portable Diablo sounds like a fucking dream.
Diablo 4 confirmed.
Out of all of their properties, Portable Diablo makes perfect sense. Actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. So see,
And-
I agree with you, Capella.
So
Calm down. I need you to put down the fucking knife.
You know what, Todd? You might get shanked a lotl this episode.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot.
I'm going very contrary to everyone's opinions, but yeah, go for it.
As soon as the NX launched, I also saw the Hearthstone PR person tweet, "Hey NX, we see you there. Hashtag Mario. Hashtag NX. Hashtag Switch."
Yeah.
And
Hearthstone makes perfect sense.
Hearthstone
Absolutely
makes
perfect sense. I mean,
sense.
if it's on a tablet, it's going to be on the Switch because
Yeah.
the Switch is basically a tablet.
Bethesda means that Elder Scrolls Legends could potentially
That's true.
come to the Switch.
Yeah.
Card games make sense on that console.
Of course, because it's a tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Which at that point, if that's going to be a thing, then the one thing we haven't talked about yet is we didn't see people touch the screen.
Yeah.
It makes sense that screen is obviously going to have a touch compatibility, functionality.
No, we have lost the motion, right? Motion controls.
So
Well,
they haven't confirmed or talked about that, but it seems like a lot of that major functionality.
Here's
is
the
gone.
thing: Just Dance is going to be on it.
That's true, but you can play Just Dance with a controller.
Can you
Technically,
really?
yes, you can. You can also play Guitar Hero with a controller, which is not a fun time.
Not
No,
advised.
you don't
It's
wanna
not. Don't do that. If you want to have cramped hands and arthritis for the rest of your life, that's what you got.
So yeah, Activision, they're probably gonna add their fucking COD to it, but whatever, that's whatever. The point is that Blizzard is owned by Activision, and the Hearthstone team has already been like, hey, Luis, see that tablet there?
Yeah.
Imagine if Blizzard was on board. Imagine if you could play Overwatch on the Switch. That sounds fucking awesome to me.
That would alarm me a little bit because what would its internet data plan be for when you're on mobile?
I mean, I imagine that's something that you completely do hybrid and you just plug it in when you play.
Yeah, but I was gonna imagine just sitting down in my living room playing it where it's fresher would be fun.
Like that's
Overwatch around.
I imagine something like Overwatch because it's online only. You really wouldn't.
You would.
That's not a portable thing.
Off the dock.
But on the other hand, the fact that you could play Diablo on it potentially.
Again, Diablo is something that makes sense
Potentially.
that you can go back and forth between the TV and portable.
Like LAN party. Diablo.
And again, Hearthstone makes perfect sense.
I agree with you.
So, while none of those say Activision Blizzard, the fact that
they don't need to say Blizzard.
They don't need to say Blizzard.
Yeah, they don't.
It would be Activision's call.
Yeah.
And it would be more money for Blizzard.
Absolutely.
So it's potential, Hearthstone is already winking at them.
Benny.
Yeah.
Which of all of those partners popped out at you the most? Oh, Platinum Games.
Yeah.
Which they've made games for
before, yes.
For the Wii. Well, Bayonetta 2 was
2.
so
Also,
I wouldn't be surprised if Bayonetta Switch or Bayonetta 3.
that makes perfect sense also.
That'd be amazing.
Because
And,
they technically own that
I don't remember
property
too
now.
well who made No More Heroes. You guys remember?
That was
That's,
Suda51.
Suda.
Yeah.
Was Suda there?
No, it wasn't.
No.
But I
Sad.
mean, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen at some
Yeah.
point. Because they,
But I mean,
They
they
could
were the first
potentially.
ones to get that game, both 1 and 2. I wouldn't mind
a third.
a third,
Or like a spin-off.
They could make a spin-off.
Yeah, a spin-off seems to make sense, too.
Independent title.
Yeah.
Or they could high-res the original.
Isn't the one that came out with
Desperate
the
Struggle was the remade, the slightly higher res for the PS4.
for the PS4?
Yeah,
For
no,
which
PS3.
for which
With
game are we
move
talking?
controls?
No More Heroes?
No More Heroes 2
Oh, yeah,
Desperate
yeah.
Struggle.
Yeah. That was a Paradise Edition, no?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Cool.
No More Heroes Paradise.
I guess out of all of these, the one that really surprised me because I hadn't read this before was
Spiky Soft Cunt.
No, was
yes,
was Epic Games. I didn't expect to see that there because they are a company that makes games at the highest fidelity. I mean, Gears of War, Unreal, or back in the day, like they're a powerhouse, and I was very surprised to see them here. Of course, that doesn't mean Gears of War is going to be on the system because Gears of War is no longer owned by Epic. Now it belongs to Microsoft.
Right.
But they do have Unreal Tournament. They do also have this new game that never saw the light of day, which is Fortnite, which is apparently in beta right now. It's been in beta for 2 years. So if anything, if that could be something that could come to console, it looks really cool, at least the last time I saw it. That's the most surprising to me. I'm guessing you guys would have thought that I would have said Bethesda, but I mean that doesn't.
That was a feature for it.
Yeah,
so.
that was a feature. So that doesn't. It surprised me, but it's not. Again, like for me personally, I probably won't be playing Bethesda games on that console. That's
I'll
just
ask
me.
you a question. Would you want everything possible ported onto the Switch, or would you want independent titles, new titles being made for this?
So this is the thing. The idea of current games like Skyrim being ported, like I said, you've already said it, there are benefits to that and people get to play it on the go or on the couch or whatever, that's cool. But I think that if all they did with these partners was remaster the games for the Switch that previously haven't been on Nintendo platforms, that just reminds me of the shovelware problem that the Wii had. But the difference is that they're bad games, but they're games that you've already played. So are you necessarily going to want to play them again? So basically what I want to see from all these partners is some of them make second-party games. Take a series that Nintendo hasn't touched in years, outsource them to another developer. That's what, I think what the guys who made Sunset Overdrive, Insomniac. That's a Microsoft thing, but they're not an exclusive. Insomniac doesn't belong to Microsoft, right? But they made a game exclusive for their console. I think, if anything, I would want one of these developers to do that for Nintendo.
I mean, the same thing with FromSoft.
Yeah,
With,
with Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, and technically Demon Souls. So, yeah, it'd be cool if they can do something like that, because if that were the case, then that's the thing. Honestly, more so than original Nintendo games that would draw me to the console, because that means, I know the only way I can play Nintendo games is on a Nintendo platform. But if Epic made a game that looked really cool and that was only on the Switch, then I would take that into consideration, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's a positive, I think.
And that, you know what, I don't know how likely it is to happen, because like we said, Nintendo is a very conservative company.
They are.
But they've been known to like they gave Donkey Kong to
Rare.
Rare.
Yeah.
Well, no, Rare. Rare. It belonged to Rare.
Yeah.
The new one is made by.
I forgot the name of that team.
Yeah.
They're the guys who did Metroid before.
Yes.
Team Ninja?
Is
No,
it?
no, but before that.
I'm thinking Other M.
Team Ninja did Other M, which is them also handing their original property to a third-party company. Unfortunately, it wasn't that successful, but
Right.
Yeah. But still, like, it was them doing that.
Like it probably could happen with a few, older, more niche titles.
I agree.
Yeah,
Mother 2
that's
confirmed.
Well, there is a Mother 2.
Yeah,
In fact,
but
Mother
just
is
now it's
Mother
the
is
official
technically Mother
US
2.
release.
No,
I'm
sorry,
Mother.
Earthbound.
It's the first one.
Earthbound is Mother 2.
Earthbound is Mother.
We never got the first one.
We never got the third game.
The third game?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a third.
Then, yeah, the official US release of Mother 3.
So
Just confusing, yo.
It is.
I'm sure like they'll outsource something to these developers should the NX actually catch on. Which, oh God, do I hope that it? I really hope that it catches on. We'll likely see some second party development, but I think the more exciting thing is the third party stuff. Like the fact that the new Elder Scrolls could potentially be on the NX. That sounds pretty cool.
Okay, yeah.
The fact that the new Wolfenstein that they're talking about could potentially come out on the NX. That sounds pretty cool. THQ Nordic is on board. That means that if they're making Darksiders 3,
potentially could
be on the NX. The third party titles are actually what's the most exciting about it, because it's a Nintendo console. Like, we're gonna get the Zelda. We're going to get Mario.
You're basically talking about stuff that you would not have thought would be on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff that we've been wanting since basically since the Wii.
Yeah, and I understand that perspective. I think if anything, in the past when I've purchased, which hasn't been very many times, I haven't purchased a home console from retail from Nintendo since the N64. I skipped over the Wii, the GameCube. I had a Wii U that I purchased with Sam, which I still haven't seen.
Technically, you still haven't.
Still haven't seen it. But for me, it's always been the reason why I buy a Nintendo console is to play Nintendo games. And now, like, not the stigma, but like the reality is that most people, even now, they still do that and they decide to play third-party games on other platforms. Do you think that that'll draw people to legitimately say, Elder Scrolls 6 or Darksiders 3 is coming to, is a thing? Will I buy that on a Switch over buying it on an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC?
So
for people, or for people that don't have a PC but already have an Xbox or a PS4, do you think that they'll buy those games on that system?
So it really depends on the portable appeal. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, it is.
Like, is this a game appealing enough to play in a portable, in a outside of my home? If the answer is yes, then that game will be very successful. If the answer is no, then they'd probably stick to a PS4 or a Xbox One. The thing is, there's an entire market of Nintendo lovers that haven't been cared for very long time.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
The forgotten.
The forgotten. Like, they're the people who they love Nintendo. They don't have a PS4, they don't have an Xbox One, they have a 3DS right now, and maybe they have a Wii U, even though it hasn't. It
doesn't have a lot.
It doesn't have a lot
in terms of third party.
They're like. We forget because it's been a very long time. But Nintendo was an entire section of the market, a large section, like big enough to compete with Microsoft and Sony. It was the big three. I think, well, I don't know if they're going to garner the same, like, whatever millions of consoles that Sony has, you know? Or, you know, like, Microsoft hit, like, what, 1.7 million
Something
sold
like that
this
recently.
year?
Yeah.
Well, while I hope to God, like, Nintendo reaches that success
They
again.
knock it out of the park.
I don't know how likely it is, because a lot of those neglected Nintendo children, they moved on.
Yeah.
You know, they went to PC, they went to PS4.
Real quick, is this like a Children of the Corn tale?
Papa wasn't there, so they made their own thing happen.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of them they did. They moved on, they got PS4s, they got Xbox Ones, they switched to PC. But there are, you know, like, I'm going to do a very nerdy metaphor right now, but it's like...
This is a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
You're fine, Capello.
It's like... God, Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
like one of the main one, the Ranger,
Aragorn.
It's like Aragorn going to the ghosts, you know, the ghosts of the,
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
those are the forgotten. It's like Mario going into, you know, that old cavern, and there's just a bunch of fucking ghosts in limbo of all of these children who love Nintendo to death.
Yeah.
And maybe they're free from their purgatory.
That's a interesting way to put that. But I see it. And hopefully that's the case. Hopefully that is the case.
Oh. There's potential.
There is a lot of potential.
There's some real potential.
I mean, okay, we'll get to our final thoughts individually in a second. So let's talk about the aftermath what happened after the reveal, because we have talked about it quite a bit already.
Biggest part of the aftermath, the Switch pup, the little derpy Switch puppy.
My favorite
should be the mascot.
To be the mascot for it. Should be the Japanese mascot. Just fuck Pikachu, and it should be that now. I love the pictures I'm seeing on Twitter. This one guy took the Wii U gamepad and he cut off both sides to put them together, the controller, like that was great.
Yeah, that was
great. That made someone at Nintendo cry, though, I'm sure.
What I saw recently were two Wiimotes duct taped onto
to the gamepad.
No, it wasn't a gamepad. It was the 2DS, and they're like, "Guys, NX is here!" Yeah.
But I saw people do that with other stuff. I saw somebody do that with a Vita and putting a DualShock 3 on a DualShock 4.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's like cross generational. That was I love that stuff. That's a reason why I love the internet. Following the unveiling of the Switch a couple of days ago. Despite it, the night before, having some success with its stock, the company suffered a 7.3% drop in its stock after Thursday night when it released. So it's very clear that while it generated a lot of attention, that maybe some stockholders were not super into it. Also, remember that investors are not on the same page that we are. They see it. They see numbers.
How can I make money?
How can I make money and how can I not? They see the trends of the market.
Also, like the stock investors are just a bunch of finicky bitches.
They are.
And their trends mean almost nothing.
But of course, Nintendo as a company does care about their stock. But either way, despite the drop, Nintendo share price is still up 53.1% this year, largely thanks to, obviously, Pokemon Go. Now, when it comes to more information about the Switch, I was about to call it the Wii U. I said this earlier, but the Wall Street Journal reports that the spokesman for Nintendo confirmed no additional information about the Switch outside of its unveiling this past week will come until next year, ahead of the console's launch in March 2017. Do you think they should have shown more, and not necessarily gaming-wise, but platform, price, specs?
They should have at least released the specs. Like, that. It's getting, like, by the time January comes around, if they're going to do
3 months away.
3 months.
That's nothing.
Like, after that,
it's not enough time to market.
It's supposed to come out 3 months after that. Like, they need spec. They should have released specs now.
And price, I think.
Price would have also been really nice.
Yeah,
but I think specs are the most important,
very important
thing.
Especially now, like you said, if this is a platform that's really going to rely heavily on digital downloads and digital content. I mean, that's a problem that people face right now with just the PS4 and Xbox One. The standard 500 gig consoles is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So specs would have been very important. I think they should have released price too, if not date. Price, specs, and then first
they could have left the date for January.
show actual games that are coming from these third parties.
Yes.
Could wait.
Yes.
But I think specs, again, like I said, especially right now when holiday shopping is going to happen very soon, this could have been the difference between having people hold off on buying the PS Pro or the Xbox Slim and say, I'll just wait till the Nintendo console comes out.
To be fair, they don't have to do that.
No, they don't. But I think it would have helped just a little bit.
Well, not very much. You realize what March is, right? March is tax season.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
They are releasing it on tax season.
While no one else is
That's
doing anything else.
that's
Okay,
refund
yeah.
money.
That is very smart, actually.
It's
I agree with you.
a very smart move releasing it in March. Like, people are gonna have money to buy it, straight up.
Yeah.
Like, at that point in time, people will have money to buy it.
Yeah.
So they don't really have to worry about like thinking about future, like, you know, like holiday stuff.
Yeah.
They really don't have to worry. The thing is that by withholding specs right now, you're basically putting yourself in a situation where if you release specs really, really close to launch, like, people aren't going to have enough time to think about it. Like, there's going to be a craze and people are going to rush. That's seedy. That's something seedy to do because, you know, at tax season, a lot of people buy things. You know, the children go crazy during tax season where they get their toys and shit. Maybe they release specs and it's not up to par. You know, they release specs and it's like a 720p console and it has 30 locked frame rates and, you know, and it doesn't meet the standards, right? Yeah. Imagine. So then you release it to the public. People are going to buy it anyway, but then all the people who bought it and feel like they got ripped off are going to have that bad taste in their mouth, and that is going to be bad press. It's going to be very bad press. So by releasing it earlier, by releasing it when you know, I would have imagined that they would do a Nintendo Direct about it the week after, you know, but apparently not.
Which is, again, just so strange. Even for Nintendo, it just seems like such an odd thing to.
And there was a point made again by Simmons of Yo Video Games that it has to do with their Nintendo's paranoia that people are going to steal the idea, which you did see. Like, when the Wii came out, everybody had a fucking like Sony came up with the Move controllers, and, you know, Xbox started doing shit with Kinect, which was supposed to be their version, and everybody wanted to ride on that success, and they just started picking things off of it. And while that didn't hurt Wii sales at all,
No, it didn't at all.
in fact, it helped them because the Move was
Not very
the
good.
best,
And the Kinect was
Kinect
terrible.
was garbage.
Basically.
It's still like, for some reason, it feels like they have some sort of like deep set paranoia that if they start releasing the nitty gritty, people are going to just start yanking from them.
Sure.
You know.
In fact, now that you mentioned that, the Joy-Con stuff, it's like, I feel like that's something Apple would have thought of a while back for the iPad.
And let's be fair, if anybody would steal,
It would be Apple. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's them wanting to protect themselves, sure, but at the same time,
At the cost of,
it's at the cost of giving us the information that we need.
it's counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's you know, and okay, so it's no secret that I am I'm vastly a Nintendo lover.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
I love Nintendo to death. I'm one of the lost children.
What a twist.
So, you know, the fact that they, like, to me, like, personally, to me, the fact that they just won't release information is just, it's keeping me on edge, man. As a person who loves Nintendo to death, I want them to succeed. Like, I really want them to bump back up to their, you know, how they used to
Their
be.
prior
You know,
successes.
Making money, making great games, you know.
Being innovative.
You know, I want that. Yeah. You know, I want that very, very badly. And the fact that they just keep withholding information and they don't want to release things, you know, it makes me and likely anyone else who
little
really,
nervous.
yeah, a little nervous.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially after, well, it hasn't been a very good, the console generation has not been good to them lately.
there wasn't, like, I love the Wii. I hopped onto
Sure.
the Wii almost right away. There was no reason for me to buy a Wii U.
Yeah.
And that's because there were some great games.
There was some good stuff. Yeah,
There's some great games, and I did miss a lot of really great games because I didn't pick up a Wii U, but there wasn't enough.
There wasn't enough there to justify the price.
There, you know, like my brothers, you know, they had a choice between PS4, Xbox One, Wii U. They didn't even consider Wii U.
I mean, I think it's, no offense, but I think it's a very easy choice to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Considering the content that's on the platform now. So the one thing that obviously they didn't announce is price. Now that we've seen the console, what do you guys think is going to be the price?
I'd say around 400.
Shit.
I'm hoping at least 350. But like 300 would be okay.
I wouldn't pay 400 for that. I think it would have to be honestly, I don't think I'd even pay 350. I think for me it'd be put out a 250 version and put out a 300 version. Yeah, that's me personally.
You realize that you're completely lowballing right now.
I'm sorry, but I just don't think
that's a hard lowball.
That's fine. I'll pay 300 for it, but not 350, not 400, especially not 400. That's just me. We all have our opinions. What's the most you would pay for it? I know we've said this before when the rumors came up, but now that we have this information, what's the most you'd be willing to pay for it, assuming you had all the money in the world?
Assuming I had all the money in the world, I'd do $500. As I am now, I would not pay more than 400 for it.
Benny?
I'd say I'm still sticking between like 3 to 4. That's always been like the ideal
for anything, for any kind of game console.
Pricing for a game console. 300 to 400.
Xbox. I mean, Microsoft made the mistake and put the Xbox One at 500, which is not worth that at all. Max 300 for me. Max 300 for me. Even if that was if that was the basic platform, if it was a 300 and a 350 version, I'd get the 300 one. But personally, this is not something I'm looking to get at launch. I'd wait a good while until there was a significant amount of stuff. Because personally, I can wait for Zelda. But again, curious, like you said, curious about the potential second party stuff. I need to see, it's not even about the games. I just need to see how well the platform performs and whether it's something that I can see myself playing on a daily basis, you know. And of course, again, we all have our different preferences when it comes to gaming in general. There's a lot of information to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benny's like dozing off here and there.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I fell asleep like at 3.
I fell asleep a little late too. Don't worry about that.
I'm in here.
Yeah. Well, I think we're almost done. So you're good. Yeah, we talked quite a bit about Nintendo, but I think this is a justified conversation.
I mean, yeah. When system drops, there's going to be a podcast based on that system because there's so many questions arise and so many things we need to talk about arise.
And I'm sure that we'll have another very long episode when that direct
more
drops.
Info.
Yeah. But okay, that was the Switch coming to a retail store and possibly your house next March. I wonder how the craze will be. I wonder if they will meet demand of play. Oh my god! I don't want to have
notoriously bad.
Oh god, because the Wii was as a someone who worked in retail. I told you this before, but that was a nightmare working.
You think they're gonna purposefully
when I was
keep it low?
I don't think they'll purposefully do that.
I mean, they've done that before.
No, I mean
they're going to base their numbers off of pre-orders.
Yeah,
that's how they do it.
So, working at Play and Trade. We did not have enough Wiis that fucking holiday season. Not at all.
I told you about that one time where we didn't have any, and this family from across the border came over, and they were willing. So the little girl was crying.
To pay for the floor model?
Dad was pleading with me to sell him the demo console, which, and I've said this before. For game retail, those demo consoles do not belong to the retailer. They belong to Nintendo, Microsoft, whatever. So you can't do anything with that. That's their property because the whole setup is theirs. And I remember the guy was like, "I'll pay you double for the console, and then I'll pay you like $200-300 in pocket because I just need this." I'm like, I wish, but I can't do that. Also, I'd lose my job. So that $300 will only last so long. But yeah, I just hope that isn't the case. But I think that's also something that they do, and I think a lot of people do that on purpose to create the idea of that there is need and there is want and this is the thing you have to have, which is not. At this point, I won't even call sleazy. It's just business.
Yeah, it's just smart marketing.
It is smart marketing. Yeah, absolutely. People desire it more when they can't find it. But okay. enough with Nintendo. That's
Yeah,
about an hour
that's,
46. We're not done yet, but we're gonna split this, so it's fine. So the second thing that happened, the second biggest thing that happened, or the equally biggest thing, whatever, that happened that day was Rockstar had been teasing a game since the weekend, since Sunday, and they finally released a teaser. I'm not even gonna call it a trailer. For Red Dead Redemption 2. It is called Red Dead Redemption 2 officially. In fact, there was a little synopsis on the official website, which I will add right here. Developed by the creators of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 is an epic tale of life in America's unforgiving heartland. The game's vast and atmospheric world will also provide the foundation for a brand new online multiplayer experience. Rockstar Games presents Red Dead Redemption 2, Fall 2017. Okay, now we're back from that. So you guys haven't heard that yet, but I'll show it to you afterwards.
Talk about Wild West.
Wild West. So the trailer itself was about a minute and 8 seconds. There's not even a lot to talk about, really. They didn't show a protagonist. They didn't show an antagonist. There was no plot. There was basically just they were basically showing you a time and place that you were going to be in.
They showed you HD cowboys.
They showed you HD cowboys
and trees
and
horse.
Like on it, you're tired. That's the way you said that.
Horse.
They, if anything, like it looked beautiful. Holy shit! It looked incredible.
It looked very, very pretty.
Almost as good as HD Skyrim.
I mean, probably a little better than HD Skyrim. No offense to HD Skyrim, but I think the most
HD Skyrim could suck an egg. Right now,
a dragon egg.
Dead.
A dragon egg. I thought the most impressive scene was it was in the evening. There was cowboys that had a fire. And then the camera panned up just a little bit to the sky, and you can see the sky. And
the shadows of the zombies are
fucking incredible. Undead Nightmare 2. It just looked incredible. But I think that for a lot of people, they were expecting just a little more, maybe a little more information, maybe some gameplay. And I think that usually this is something very different from what Rockstar is used to releasing in terms of trailers. I went back and I watched the trailers for GTA 5. And the original Red Dead, and for GTA 4, and they all had just a little more, right? And it seems like they're playing a very cinematic kind of game here. And that's fine, because that's something that they're known for doing in their games already.
There's no better cinema than the Old West.
Absolutely. So. And also one that's not very much explored, at least not anymore.
Mm-hmm. You know? Spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah. Red Dead Redemption felt like a spaghetti western. The vibes I got off of this as somebody that likes western movies, I got some There Will Be Blood. I got some even like very light The Revenant tones in there, which is exciting to me because thinking about it now, Red Dead and like Manhunt were the only serious games because GTA, while it's a violent game, it's a parody. It's a parody of America, you know, yep. But Red Dead is more of a period piece, and this seems like they're taking it to another level. The only thing I will say that there was one line of spoken dialogue, which is somebody telling the protagonist, I would assume, to like run away, get away from this place. And, some of the rumors online or from NeoGAF was that voice was of a character from the previous game named Dutch, who is the leader of John Marston's gang, who he hunts down in Red Dead Redemption. Spoilers. Personally, I'd rather it not be a prequel. I'd rather it be, you know, a new place, a new character, and everything. What do you think about that? I mean, I guess a prequel wouldn't necessarily not make sense. It's just...
but why would they call it Red Dead Redemption 2 if it were a prequel?
I mean...
marketing purposes.
That's how things are nowadays. 3's the prequel.
The prequel, yeah. I mean, the sequel, like...
Devil May Cry 3, Super Young Dante.
Yeah, they did do it with DMC. What other, do you see a numbered version?
No.
But Star Wars also did it.
No.
With a later one that was before, wasn't it?
It's 3, 4, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
It's 4, 5, 6.
And the newer ones were 1, 2, 3, but they were prequels. 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's still...
There aren't a lot of, actually, in gaming, a lot of numbered prequels. No, because I think about Halo Reach. Halo Reach is Halo Reach, not Halo 4. Mm-hmm. You know?
Like...
Yeah.
You don't see it a lot.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And at this point, I mean, really, I guess I'm not going to really care if it's a prequel or not. I'm going to play the living shit out of that game. Mm. But it'd be cool to play another character that isn't John Marston, because I think that his story was well told, and I don't need to see that revisited, I think. But it looked beautiful. We don't have a lot of information about it. I think they didn't necessarily anticipate that Nintendo was going to like pull this fucking giant, fucking hammer on them and say, hey man, we're releasing information today too. So I think, again, that probably, for a lot of Rockstar fans even, I think that, toned the excitement down just a little bit, which is why I think showing some kind of gameplay over the protagonist would have helped a lot. But still, great trailer. That trailer was made for someone like me, and that game better have a fucking photo mode, because, you know me, I'm obsessed with that stuff. Is that something you got, Benny, you like Red Dead. Is that something you'll pick up without question, or you have to see more about it?
I mean, being able to see more about it would be good, and I would personally like it to be a continuation of the story, not prequel.
A prequel.
But regardless, like, that game was fun. That game put
was.
away hours. I'm probably going to still pick it up.
It also came out in 2009 or 10, so it's been a while. It has been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
Yes. The one thing that I will note is that they did not confirm a PC version, which is not necessarily unsurprising, because
that's the way Rockstar operates.
They do. The GTA 5...
At the very least, that's how they do it lately.
Now, yeah. I hope that it does come to PC, because the potential for mods is incredible. Like, we already see that with GTA 5. Like, the replayability, the life that's been pumped into that game is pretty incredible. So I hope that at some point that is something that they do. But yeah, that's up on their website. Go check it out. It's a nice little trailer. Watch that at the highest quality. It looks fucking great. Moving on to some, I guess, not great news, but United Front Games, which is the studio behind Sleeping Dogs, which is a well-received game. I actually never played it. People tell me I should. Unfortunately, got shut down this past week, and kind of suddenly, actually. It just came out of nowhere. The team was currently working on a game called Smash and Grab, which is an online warfare game, kind of like APB, I think. That was an early access, but now you can no longer access it, basically. So it's unfortunate. Lately we have seen a couple of studios close here and there. But if you don't know, if you're not familiar with them, they developed 2 racing games for the PS3, which is Mod Nation Racers and Little Big Planet karting. I didn't know Little Big Planet had a karting game. They were also known for helping out on Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, the Halo Master Chief Collection, and Disney Infinity 3.0. So they did a lot of like contract work, but they were kind of getting there. I mean, they developed Sleeping Dogs, which is a big deal. So just sending out best wishes to the developers, and hopefully they get back on their feet, because the game industry is not an easy one, and finding steady work is not easy. I think a lot of people glamorize it to be something amazing, which it is, but there's a lot of hard work and actual people and
a lot of failure.
A lot of failure, unfortunately. Yeah. So hopefully everyone gets back on their feet. The Last Guardian has finally gone gold, Capello and Benny. It's not a hoax. This is not fake, and there is a god. I think. A couple days ago, yesterday, Shuhei Yoshida, who's the president of Worldwide Studios at Sony, basically confirmed it on Twitter that the game has gone gold, and he can't wait for people to play it, because of course that's something he would say.
Yep.
But I mean, hey, that at this point that means that game cannot be delayed again.
Yeah.
Unless there was the building
bug
fire, or unless there was a fire at the manufacturer.
Fire happened, and the master copy was destroyed.
I'm gonna keep knocking on this wood very hard.
But we have to make the game from scratch all over again.
Fuck, imagine that.
Shout out to PewDiePie, the one person who got to play the game.
Really?
Yeah, he got an
He's the one
demo.
He's the one person that got to play that game.
It's the one person I've seen him.
It's a video worth watching.
Dude, you can see a bit of it. You could. It's him solving a few puzzles.
Does he like it? Or
yeah, he says
he did like it.
It's very good.
Well, assuming
he
Sony
was very
didn't pay
much
him.
into Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that's interesting. We'll get the game soon, December 6th.
Yep.
That's not that far away now. We're almost in
Unless
December.
they push it back.
January 27th.
More back.
Yep. Okay.
Nope, you knocked on metal. That doesn't count.
No, man, I knocked on the fucking wood.
That makes the thing you didn't want happen.
All right, the last thing on the news this week, which is something also a little on the sad side. So after a week of negotiations between actors union SAG-AFTRA and various video game companies, the voice acting community has declared a strike against some of the biggest publishers and developers in the industry, including EA, Activision, etc., etc. So according to SAG, after 19 months of unsuccessful negotiations, striking was the only option left for them to ensure their concerns about safer work conditions for voice acting community, and until those things were met.
Safer working conditions.
Which basically, I mean, I think that basically translates
like
to pay.
in a leaky attic where like there were cut cords like
Like your own closet is not safe enough.
It's not. I mean, a lot of voice acting is done from people's homes. Yeah, because I mean, technically, all you need is this right here, and that's it. You're done. Boom. Now it all depends on you.
My closet is scary, and therefore I think I might die in it. Give me more money.
Yeah, I need better working conditions.
I need hazard pay. I need to fix that leaky ceiling in my room.
Basically, SAG is demanding a reasonable bonus for every 2 million copies of a game sold, upfront conversations with producers about projects they're working on, and concerns from actors about working conditions taken seriously. So really what it comes down to, I think, more importantly than actual working conditions, is the fact that a lot of voice actors get paid for their work, and then the game comes out, and then that game can possibly make millions and billions, yeah. But like, I think an example I made earlier was with Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a massive game, and it made so much fucking money, and the voice actors, I'm pretty sure, weren't necessarily compensated for that. And that's because out of that game came some very prominent roles. Like, a lot of people really like Trevor. I like Trevor. People follow the actor Stephen Ogg, and he's in Westworld now, and he's in I think he's still in The Walking Dead, if I'm not mistaken. But like, it reminds me of that. Like, that game made a ton of money, and I'm pretty sure there was no kickback to them. Which I think, again, there is more than just voice acting that goes into the games, right? And people can say, oh, well, if they're going on strike, that's okay, because there's a million people that would love to be in your position. But it takes skill. It's acting still.
If Troy Baker joined that strike, like, Naughty Dog would lose like 80% of its voice acting.
Basically. They might as well just shut down.
Yeah, they'd have to close.
Yeah, they would. That's not even a joke, man. That's fucking true. They use them in everything. But, I think that is, it's an important thing, because I think they do need to be compensated for their work.
Be in charge of like all the insignificant little noises, like he's making the whoosh sound when you step on the grass.
That's Troy. That is Troy Baker.
He makes the sound of ice being crushed when you're walking on ice.
Every sound effect that you hear in a Naughty Dog game is Troy Baker.
And if it's not him specifically, it's him making noises in his house.
I want secret footage of him going clack 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 clack, and they're using that. They're just tweaking it fuck out.
I want footage of him opening his refrigerator door. That's what I want to hear in the game.
Like, what do we have?
What are we having?
Some milk.
No, imagine.
Oh, it's spoiled. Clack, 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 clack.
Just gonna fucking shoot the milk?
Yeah.
Look, this is Last of Us, not Scarface.
They tune it the fuck up, and that's what they use for their actual gun sounds.
No, not even for the clickers. If you tune it enough, just high enough, it'll be the clicker sounds.
What is that, milk?
Troy Baker is so fucking prominent that I'm willing to say that, like, at the very least, Sony would lose, like, at least 30% of its voice acting force.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, he's like in fucking everything.
Yeah, for fucking everything.
Like, I remember this joke he made a while back at some event where he's like, someone asked him, what's the best way to get into voice acting? He said, wait for Nolan North and me to die.
Basically.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
But
yeah,
at that point, everyone's gonna be, we need someone. Please help.
Please help. Yeah. Again, and it's not wrong that, people would love to be in that position, but it does take skill to do these things.
Yeah. And
so,
there's like, I was at a voice acting panel at a convention in Corpus Christi where Richard Orvitz, who is the voice of Invader Zim, of Billy from Billy and Mandy, of Daggett from Angry Beavers. He does quite a bit. He's Rasputin from Psychonauts. And he was there with a couple of other voice actors. And somebody had asked a question where it was like, what do I need to, like,
to break in?
But not to break in. It's like, it was something as simple as, what do I need to properly make a portfolio?
Oh, okay.
And the answer was, if you need to ask that question, then you are not ready at all. Like, the voice acting.
That's some tough love.
Yeah, it was definitely tough love. But like like he basically said, you really need to do your research because your portfolio is everything.
Yeah, it is.
It's
true.
You can't just edit in like, just 10 minutes of you talking to yourself.
Yeah, like you really need to do different voices. And you need
also
to
do freelance work.
Yeah.
indie games.
A lot of people start
That's how they
that
start.
way.
Yeah.
You need on-the-job experience.
Like fuck, I wouldn't imagine like half of the voice actors right now started off like doing moans in a porn game for Flash. Like I would not. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nobody walks up to somebody and say, "You're gonna play. You want to voice Solid Snake? Yeah, you want to voice Solid Snake? You got it. No one does that.
No,
You gotta crawl
one.
through the mud first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah. Voice acting is actually probably quite an exclusive medium. You very much have to know what you're doing, know how to do it, have the equipment, and then you do your research, and you need to promote, and you need to do work, and you need to probably do free work. A lot.
Absolutely,
of free work.
indie stuff is a big way to do that, to get your name out there.
Like voice acting. It's not just like you talking into a microphone.
No, it's much more than that.
It's so like
it's understanding the role,
especially now that like mocap is being used more and more. You're acting straight up. You are acting for video games. You're acting for television.
Yeah.
You know, for animated things. You know, it's not simple at all.
No.
And like, you know what? A bonus per 2 million games
is reasonable.
Sounds reasonable. You know,
especially for way bigger games. Like think about Call of Duty or like I said, GTA or anything.
Like, a lot of games do not even meet the 1 million mark.
They don't.
Like if asking for 2 million means that game was successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very, very successful. It's not like a bonus per 2 million games sounds perfectly reasonable, to be honest.
And just for anyone listening, this doesn't come down. The developers don't have this choice. It's the publisher.
It's
they're the ones who pay for this stuff, and again, it's people who are out there saying, why are voice actors bitching about this? Like, a lot of work and a lot of people make a game, but a lot of times, like engineers and artists and these people, they make, I would imagine to an extent, they do make quite a good living, right? And voice actors basically go job to job. They don't have they're not contracted to a company.
There's no job
unless
security.
you're
There's no job security unless you're Nolan North
or
yes,
Troy Baker.
Exactly.
And then you're pretty much
set for life.
Yeah, it's like everybody will want you from children's cartoons all the way to A+ rated adult games.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry if your name is Troy Baker
exactly.
or Nolan North.
I think that this is an important thing, especially because performance does matter.
Yeah, like just to put it into context, Dinklebot, not a good voice actor.
No, it wasn't.
No,
because it was Peter Dinklage that phoned it in, basically.
He's gotten removed.
Yeah.
They updated him the fuck out.
They removed
Nolan
him
North.
from with Nolan North. They removed him from Destiny because he didn't do a good job voice acting.
Yeah, he didn't.
And that is a high-paid actor, like a very high-paid.
It's Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets paid a lot of money.
He's in Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. He gets paid a lot of money to be on
Isn't
Game
it
of Thrones.
now is it 1 million per episode or something?
It's more than $1 million.
Isn't it more than $1 million?
It's way more than $1 million.
But for the actors.
For the actors, I think
it's like 1 or 2 million, something like that.
But it's ridiculous.
I mean, performance matters, man.
Yeah.
It does. So I think this is important. I hope they reach an agreement.
Does Peter Dinklage not get out of bed unless there's at least $1 million there?
I don't know. At this point, I don't fucking know.
I mean, Destiny apparently spent
it's also
$50 billion.
The most expensive game ever made, according to Activision. Which again, I just hope they come to a conclusion and everything goes not back to normal, but things improve for voice acting and that everyone is happy. That's what I hope.
Yes.
Because voice acting, whether you believe it or not, is very important in video games.
Yeah, they should make some. I hope they come to some sort of good
agreement, some kind of compromise.
I think voice actors do deserve.
They deserve the compensation just as much as the people.
They work just as hard
yeah.
as any other person in the industry.
Exactly.
Harder even.
Yeah.
They're like the teachers of fucking, teachers.
That's a good way to put it.
Teachers of fucking.
Teachers, they're the teachers of fucking. They're the teachers of the game industry.
Yeah.
Teachers deserve way more than they make.
Absolutely. It reminds me of a quote of a podcast episode that I'm just gonna plug here. It's a podcast called Designer Notes on the Idle Thumbs Network. It's basically developers interviewing developers, and the latest one is Amy Hennig, who wrote Uncharted, and now she works on the Star Wars game for EA. One of the things she said that really spoke to me was she said that Nolan North on the making of Uncharted said to her that Amy Hennig, who was the writer, birthed Uncharted, Nathan Drake, but she let him raise the character. And so I think that's the case for everything.
Yeah.
So I hope they come to a compromise. Actually, not completely unrelated, but there's this, because you know how I love Fallout so much. There's this YouTube channel that does like little like serials called Fallout Escapades, and they were looking for like people to do voice work, and I submitted something a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And just and this is not because I want to have a career in it, but just because I love like the guy's content, and he was just asking people if they wanted to voice something or someone. So yeah, I did that.
That's
A
cool.
couple weeks ago. Let's
You
see what
should
happens.
resubmit now with zero
With
dead air.
yeah, I did it with well, I still did it with this mic, I think, but just not, well, the old setup we had. But yeah, that's some fun stuff. But yeah,
Zero dead air edition.
I hope they come to a compromise. It's important. But that's it for the news this week. Fuck. About 2 hours.
2 hours worth.
And you know what?
It's an hour and 40 minutes of Nintendo.
And you know what? Maybe only the first 5 minutes are getting cut from that, so it's still a long episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with hopefully, I think it's very little dead air in
A
there.
whole lot of news.
We
Horrors.
are going to finish with steaming reviews. We're going to save what we've been playing for another podcast. I have 4 games this week, guys, and let's see if you get them. We shall see. The first game is recommended, and I'm going to cut out words from this because there are keywords.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I hope you guys are ready for
I'm
this.
so ready for
I'm
this.
so ready for
I'm
this.
not ready for
No,
this.
you're not.
You're
not
half
ready.
asleep.
No, I'm awake.
This first game
My voice is falling
is
apart.
is recommended at 7.3 hours on record and posted June 30th of this year and reads: started the game, went on a killing rampage, got tired, played campaign missions, threw myself in front of cars, got insurance money, killed the driver, stole his car, went on a killing rampage again, got tired again, found a blank, slapped bitches with my blank, one bitch shot me to death.
Saints Row 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saints Row 3. The blank
I
was the
forgot name of
dildo.
it.
Yeah.
Saints Row the third.
The third.
Yeah. I'm going to finish this review. One bitch shot me to death, rage quit the game, solid 9 out of 11.
The insurance money was what had me
Yeah.
like, God damn it, what is it called?
Would slap
So you
bitches
just
with my dildo
run
again.
super fast and you jump and you just
Yes.
like splat around and shit.
That was, they had that since the beginning of that franchise.
I think so.
Yeah, they did. I had so much fun just doing that because the ragdoll physics were fucking badass. Well, to me, they were fun back in the day.
You just keep mashing X to keep making momentum.
Yeah.
Just,
And some people would be like, and at some point, you know, there was like a level because there was a whole like mission structure, and some people would be like, "Get the fuck out of here! I saw you jump in front of my car." But some people like be like, "Oh my god, I ran over him." All right, so Capella got that one. Actually, one of the NPC lines I remember from the first game is when there were certain NPCs where if you would get really close to them to the point where you're about to run over, and if it was a guy, he would say, "Oh shit, my wife would kill me if I died today." All right, move on to the next one. I'll be interested if you guys get this one right away. Right, this game is recommended with 78.8 hours on record, posted October 10th of last year, and reads: this game is a dating sim. This game is a horror game. This game is a retro game. This game is a happy game. This game is a silly game. This game is a sad game. This game is a cute game. This game is a game.
Undertale?
This game is a... Yes!
man, fuck this. Some fucking bullshit all up in here.
Yeah. I was like, dating sim, horror game, silly. It's Undertale.
This game is a game.
You got
Fuck
it.
You, Todd.
This game is a game. Hey,
game is a
don't
game.
tell me... Don't...
Fuck you, reviewer.
Yes, there you go. That's who you should blame.
Not Todd.
This game is a dog. This game is a bomb. This game is determination. What more would you want out of a game? Also,
Determination.
Goat Mom.
Yeah, God Mom.
Yeah,
also.
that would have triggered it.
Yeah.
All right, no need to read the other ones then.
Burgentrukung.
The third game is recommended with 40.1 hours on record and posted November 10th of last year and reads: Step 1, get game. Step 2, play game. Step 3, be smart.
Breathe?
No, be smart, sorry.
Be
That was my mouth being dumb. Step 4, beat game. Step 5, tell friends to get game. Step 6, play multiplayer. Step 7, Scream at them for being stupid.
Portal 2.
Yes! Damn!
I'm on a roll.
You're on a... You got that.
I was gonna go with XCOM.
That could maybe work with XCOM.
Yeah, I remember playing the multiplayer and I beat the living shit out of Mikey with it. That was fun. I'm going to read the other one because I thought it was funny. If your friends don't think this is one of the best games ever made, you need smarter friends. I thought that was a good one. All right, last one, which is... this will be interesting. Recommended with 28.3 hours on record, posted October 19th of last year, and reads, you can wield all sorts of hammers. Hammer and shield, two-handed hammers, one-handed hammers, hammers.
Skyrim.
No.
Damn.
Hammers.
One-handed hammers.
One-handed hammers.
No, nothing?
Hammers.
Hammers.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of games that have hammers in them.
But only hammers.
Ah,
Or at least a
Warhammer.
lot of hammers.
Which one?
40K.
Moving on.
Damn.
Recommended with 71.1 hours on record, posted October 25th, 2015, and reads... You probably got this one.
Does it have a ninja or
Play-
a dragon in it?
Let me finish. Play Left 4 Dead, but play it for the Emperor.
Fuck you.
For the Emp. Okay, so how did I not get... Is it like Ultramarine?
Because you need to get the right... You have to get the
Is
specific...
it Total War Warhammer?
No.
That can't be Battlefleet Gothica. What? I forgot the...
Vermintide.
Yes.
Oh.
A Vermintide.
But there's no Emperor yet.
I'll read the third one.
That was a lie, Capello.
I'll read the third
You
one.
were supposed to pay attention to the hammers.
Recommended with 60.6 hours on record, posted October 21st of last year, and reads, have you ever imagined working at pest control as a bright wizard and just burn rats with the power of flames? Well, you don't have to imagine now. That's a good review.
Vermintide.
I was gonna say Vermintide too, but then the
It's
Emperor...
too obvious?
The Emperor threw me off.
Okay.
Because there's no Emperor yet.
Well, I didn't know
Yeah.
that, so...
Well, Capello,
Well, Benny got it, so...
you
Yeah.
should have paid attention to the hammers.
Benny got 1 out of 3.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine.
Well, 1 out of 4.
I'm pushing 25% right now.
It's more than good enough for Ben.
So, I think whenever when we restart this podcast, when we press the reset button, by then I will have everything tallied up because we've already gone a couple weeks and I have not tallied up yet.
It's been a good while.
Yeah, it has been. I think Capella still has more points than anyone. I'm not too sure.
Probably.
I don't know.
I know I'm probably beating Mike.
Well, I mean, Mike's only...
Mike's
okay, that's not fair, Ben. Mike's been on this show
Hey, he's
4
on the
times.
tally, fucker.
I know, you're right. You're right. I really need
Are
to-
you on the tally? No, you're not.
Ben will
then who's going to administer the game if I'm on the tally?
That doesn't matter. You're not on the tally. That's my point.
What we need is that on Christmas time, Marco should be the game show host, and we should have a big one.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, like the whole podcast is that?
Yeah.
And like you hear a fake sound of a spinning wheel.
Yeah.
We should have like a 30-minute game.
Okay. I'll tell him to start looking for reviews. I'll give him the format.
Or we can bring back that other game.
You see, the
Forgot
one
what
about
it was
mixing
called.
and matching two
Yeah.
games. I like that one, but it doesn't work well on a
Multiplayer.
podcast. Like, it doesn't work well as a
With
podcast.
multiple games.
Yeah. I think that one's something that we'd have to, have video for and,
That's actually it's a really good game for improv.
It is.
If we
yeah.
start doing improv stuff, we should bring that game back.
Yeah, we
definitely.
should. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, for the sake of sparing you any more time,
Jesus, this is a long episode.
this is a long. Just blame Nintendo for it. Blame Reggie.
Damn you, Reggie.
Yes, Reggie.
I saw a picture of Reggie with his eyes just fucking not level.
It's like the derpy Nintendo dog.
Because of the NX, how it's like that, and then they
Yeah.
snap it, and it's just Reggie with his eyes like that.
Oh my god.
Was that an actual thing that you saw?
Yes!
Okay.
I'm not
alright.
hallucinating.
No, because I'm saying that if you just came up with that, we need to put that on the internet right now.
That's true. You can score you some major internet brownie points. Well, with that said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and call it. Thanks for joining us. Everything that we talked about today will be linked below. I'll make sure to do that because it's important to do that.
All 3 items we talked about. will be
Well, I use multiple articles, most of them from Polygon.com. Go there if you want to see more detailed analysis of stuff that we talked about today. But yeah, we're done. Have a good weekend have a good week because this will be up by Sunday night, guaranteed.
Thanks to our new podcast formation, we now have the ability to edit at lightning fast speed.
We do, and we can also we need to real quick shout out once again to DJ Jesus.
DJ Jesus.
Yes, sir.
DJ Jesus,
Take us out, sir.
Keeping
All right.
that shit down.
All right, guys.
Break it down real funky, DJ Jesus.
Have a good week.
Good.
Adios.
Later.